Good evening and welcome into West Steel Stadium in Wilkes County, North Carolina for tonight's Saturday edition of some Friday night football. Due to the weather, we weren't able to play the game last night, but here we are tonight, Ashe County, Wilkes Central. Tyler Ashe hides out the press box alongside Nathan Ham. Nate should be in for a great matchup here between these two rival schools.
Should be, Tyler. Glad to be here. Both teams got several athletes. Wilkes Central's really struggled to defend the pass some this year. That might come back to haunt them today, but you never know. They've got enough athletes to play with us. They might score some points, but hopefully the Huskies come out with a win.
So as we saw there on the matchup card just a moment ago, sort of the opposite tales for these schools this year. Ashe County riding a nice 4-game winning streak, undefeated on the season, 4-0. Wilkes Central just 1-4, but hey, in the early going, both teams 1-0 in conference, and that's all that really matters at this point on.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams right now, they want that conference crown, and you don't blame them. That's what's going to get you in the playoffs. That's what's going to get you a good seed. It's nice to play some strong out-of-conference teams to get you ready for it, but these Mountain Valley games, that's what matters the most.
As we see the captains take the midfield for the coin toss, we're actually going to break away for just a moment. And last week, Ashe County was in a contested battle against the also undefeated Allegheny County Trojans in a heavyweight matchup. We'll go ahead and show you some of the highlights from last week's victory for the Ashe County Huskies over the Allegheny County Trojans. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 12 for this Husky offense. Looking to keep this drive alive. Bowers dropping back, firing deep. Has his man Blevins, and look at him turn on the afterburners. 10-5 and touchdown Huskies. Bowers drops back, fires it out here to the near side. Here's Blevins shaking off one defender's left and right, still on his feet. 20, 10-5, and you're not going to catch him. Jacob Blevins slicing and dicing his way to the end zone. Sprinkle under center. Here's the toss sweep over here to the near side, looking in the end zone, looking forward. Does he get it? Looks like he is stopped short, and he is, and the Husky defense prevails. So now after the incompletion, 2nd down and 10 for the Huskies. Play action, Bowers looking deep. Has his man Blevins over the defense, wide open, 10-5, and watch him go. Dial it up for 6 more, and the Huskies have stretched this thing out, now lead it by 2 touchdowns. Are the Trojans. Undefeated on the season still. Sprinkle going to have to tuck this one away, and 3 Huskies are in the backfield to take him down. My goodness, these guys are fired up to start this 4th period. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. This time they're going to hand it off. Ellis looking off to the left side. Look at him go, spinning around into the end zone, taking a defender with him, and that's going to put 6 more on the board, and Ashe County storms ahead now, 27-7.
Back in this one, but kind of surprised they're just taking their time getting up to the football.
Pump fakes once, now Sprinkle looking end zone, and the ball is intercepted. Hunter Barnes, my goodness, what a great play on the ball there. Full extension and able to make the interception, and that will probably just about do it here for this one tonight. And now we're back, and we see the Huskies taking the field. Both teams just about ready to get this thing started. Ashe County with their impressive season so far. I know it's still early on, but got to love that 4-0 record right now. And Eagles, as we said, a little bit on the other side of things as they prepare to take the field here at West Steel Stadium. But, Nate, looking back last week there, as we saw from the highlights against Allegheny, a lot to take away for the Ashe County Huskies. Allegheny did do what they wanted in controlling the time of possession, but didn't make Ashe County pay in the points category.
Well, Ashe proved that they could still make plays even when they don't have the ball as much. Allegheny really didn't have much of an answer for them when they had the football. But Ashe is going to have to take that and keep using that during the season, because there will be teams that can run the ball and really dictate time of possession.
When you talk about a team that could run the ball, a team that can run the ball, we see them just taking the field there, the Wilkes Central Eagles. They have quite a 2-headed monster back there with Bynum and also Victor Williams coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, Victor Williams probably one of the fastest players in the Mountain Valley Conference. Hopefully the Huskies can contain his speed tonight, but if he breaks one loose, watch out.
Yes, certainly a couple of guys worth watching. And you also mentioned another guy, number 10, Jordan James, certainly going to be one to watch here for Wilkes Central tonight.
Big-time wide receiver playmaker, transferred up here from Butler High School in Charlotte. Really like to get him involved down the field. JoJo Horton in the passing game always looks towards him. And so far this year, it hasn't really worked out to Wilkes Central's liking with their record right now, but they've got the talent to improve on that, especially here in conference play.
So during the highlights, the coin toss, Ashe County did win the toss. They did defer to the second half, so we will see this Eagles offense look to come in here. And last week we saw after the game, Wilkes Central getting their first victory of the season, and it was a big one. And I'll tell you what, Coach Hampton saying on the Husky Coaches Show at WKSK this past week that maybe he didn't want to see them hit their stride right before this game. He would have preferably seen that a week or two later down the road.
You can't blame him at all. Wilkes Central's got the athletes to play with us, and if they get hot with their balanced offensive attack, they can pass the ball and run the ball. You never know what could happen. They could really be a threat here down the stretch in the conference.
And we'll see on the kicking duties there for the Ashe County Huskies. Kendall Richardson has done a great job this year for the Huskies. We've seen him be just a little shaky on extra points, but to tell you what, ice in the veins from the big guy, and has a big-time leg. Game winner against Watauga, of course, and we're just about ready to get things going here for some Sky Zone Friday night football. This game brought to you by Miller Insurance, and we are underway from Wilkes Central High School, and not the best of starts there for the Ashe County Huskies, to say the least. Richardson's kickoff goes out of bounds, which will give the Eagles some great field position to start off this ball game. Wilkes Central in the home green and gold letters jerseys, Ashe County in the road white. And Nate, what are you most looking forward to in this matchup in particular?
I'd like to see if the Husky defense can really stop their rushing attack. It's going to be tough to stop that passing attack deep, but I think the Ashe cornerbacks can handle that. But as we've seen this year, sometimes we have struggled with the running game, especially when teams take it to the outside.
And we talked about it last week against Allegheny. Maybe something that was a bit of a question mark is this Husky secondary. But I'll tell you, Evan Owen really stepped up and had a huge game last week for this Husky defense.
He did, and hopefully we see more of that tonight.
Starting off 3 wide, shotgun set, split tailbacks. Handoff goes to Williams on the first carry of the game. Certainly the man worth watching. Not much doing there, just a gain of a couple. Certainly the Huskies hoping to contain that man. We know he has big play capability, to say the least.
He does. He's got tremendous speed. Not very big in stature, but he makes up for that with breakaway speed.
So after the 2-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage here tonight, makes it 2nd down and 8 for the Eagles. Horton takes the shotgun snap, dropping back. He's looking deep down the field, has his man. The pass is going to say is complete, but just in and out of the hands that time. He's looking for Justin Parsons. I'll tell you what, Nate, he couldn't have been more wide open.
Yeah, wide open there indeed. He must have saw that end zone in his eyes, wanted that touchdown on the second play of the game, but got to reel that ball in first.
So the Huskies are bailed out, as you mentioned. Looking downfield already was Parsons. Right away, though, we see Wilkes Central not afraid to take a shot downfield as we see flags fly on the 3rd and long situation. Looks like it's going to go against Wilkes Central, and indeed it will. It's going to be a false start against the offense, so it's already a 3rd and never an easy 8. Now it's going to be brought down to at the 32-yard line. It's going to make it 3rd down and now 13 to go. And if you're Ashe County, you're liking what you're seeing so far out of your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Just defend the pass here. If they do hand it off, just defend the run, but look for the pass as well.
Here's the delay, and Ashe County is not fooled. That time making a big play in the backfield, number 36, Alex Richardson. So a nice play from him, and that's going to bring up a 4th and about 16 situation now for the Eagles, and an obvious punting situation to start off this ball game. So Ashe County holds serve, or breaks, I should say. They're able to stop this Wilkes Central offense to start the ball game, and Williams, he's a jack of all trades. He's going to boot this one away, and the fair catch is called for and made by Evan Owen at the Husky 40-yard line. And now the man we've been watching all season long, making play after play for this Husky offense, delivering some great passes. Number 14, senior quarterback Connor Bowers, already thrown for 1,225 yards. And I'll tell you what, he just keeps upping that completion percentage. And it's been, about 2 or 3 games, I believe, at least, since we've seen him throw an interception.
He's played very smart at the quarterback position. He's hit the open receivers, hasn't made any mistakes. Hopefully he continues that tonight. And
right off the bat, the pass is, about to say complete. An easy catch there, but Sullivan has trouble finding the handle on that one as it falls to the ground on the check down pass from Bowers. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 now for the Huskies after the incomplete pass. But the Ashe County Huskies, we've seen them put up a lot of points in the early going this season. Of course, nothing quite matching that Week 1 outpour against North Surrey. But I tell you what, they've been very solid on the offensive end. Bowers now trying to evade some trouble. Just chucks this one toward his Ashe County sideline. And that's going to be an incomplete pass. And we actually see a penalty marker on the field. And it looks like they're going to tab him for intentional grounding. It's a little bit curious there of a call. Not sure why they actually threw that one, but anyway, it's going to be intentional grounding against Connor Bowers and this Husky offense. That's going to really back them up all the way to their own 26, 27-yard line. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and very long situation now for the Huskies.
You know, I'm not sure about the intentional grounding rule at the high school level, but that ball clearly made it to the line of scrimmage, and he was well outside the tackle box, so not really sure why that got flagged, but, well, there's another flag. We keep backing ourselves up a little bit.
Boy, I tell you what, both teams shooting themselves in the foot early and often in this ball game. That's going to go against the Huskies in a false start. So back them up another 5 yards. That's going to put them down about their own 21-yard line now. 3rd and a country mile, and you know Hampton definitely has a play call for this one.
Oh, yeah, you know, this is always just something you draw up on Madden right here and just kind of chuck it deep and hope for the best.
We'll see if the Huskies employ the 5-wide set we saw them use last week. Coach Hampton liked what he saw against Allegheny. See if he employs that strategy here. Right now going 4 wide, 3 receivers to the near side of your screen. They always like to shoot for that one-on-one matchup on the far side of the field. This time a screen play drawn up for Ellis out across the 30, cutting it across field, across the 35, looking for the 40, and finally going to be brought down. Picks up some nice yardage, but unfortunately for the Huskies, whenever you've got over 20 yards to go, even a 16, 17-yard gainer like that's not going to quite cut the mustard. And the Huskies bring on the kicking unit, and they're going to punt this one away. Mason McNeil back to kick it off for the Huskies here on the punt. So a pair of 3-and-outs, one for Wilkes Central, and then the Huskies follow suit in their first offensive possession. So neither squad either able to pick up first down yardage first time they get the ball. McNeil punt this one away, lined up back at his own 28. Short snap, sort of sidesteps, and due to that, didn't get much on that one at all. That's going to take a bounce and does take a Husky roll, but that's only going to get to about the 45-yard line of the Eagles, so we'll see if they can capitalize on this good field position. An unusual miscue there for the Husky special teams unit.
It is coming out just a little bit sloppy today, of course, being on a Saturday, a little bit different for these guys, but hopefully they act like this is Friday night the rest of the way and just keep in their routine and keep making plays like they can.
Yeah, here doing a Saturday night game feels like we should be calling some college football. Kind of has that feeling here between these two schools. It's always a competitive matchup. And we're back to the action now. Bynum gets the handoff, and the Huskies coming up, and Richardson once again leading the way for this Husky defense. And he's a guy who can make some big plays. I haven't called his name a tremendous amount this season, but showing early in this one, he has big play capability on the defensive side.
Yeah, it seems like we've been calling his name just a little bit more as the seasons went on. He's definitely getting better, and, you know, we've got some really strong play from our linebackers this season, also Sean Baker and Tristan Jones. That's really a strong suit for this Husky D.
Yeah, you said it there. This Husky defense looks good in the early going as we see another flag fly. That's going to be against Wilkes Central. Looks like it's going to be a false start, and that is the call indeed. And we've talked about it each game, each week here in the young season, but it just continues to show for these Ashe County Huskies their ability to make big-time plays on the defensive side of the ball, always having a nose for that football, and really able to grind it out in a lot of these victories, such as last week against Allegheny, sort of facing a different style with the teams that solely likes to run the ball mainly, although they did run it a lot more last week as we see Victor Williams picking up some nice yardage even after the penalty. But Austin Sprinkle, he certainly wasn't afraid to throw it against the Huskies last week, but for the Trojans just wasn't enough, and that Husky defense was able to make some huge plays as we saw making that goal line stand where they were on, first and goal from about the 1 or 2 yard line. Huskies made a big stand right before the half. That was definitely a game changer.
And the defense always gives the offense a little bit of momentum when they can make some big plays like that.
So on third down, about 9, Horton rolling out, making the throw downfield, and that's going to fall incomplete. The Huskies say they have the ball, and the referee signals that they do. So a big-time play here early for the Huskies, and they have the interception. Nate, talk about that secondary right there coming up big.
That was a big play. They've really, as you said, have a nose for the football, and there's another example of that.
So aspect of the game that a lot of people thought would be a question mark, including yours truly, for the Huskies, has ended up being a strong suit for them, and they displayed here early on with the big play on defense coming away with the takeaway. Referees having a discussion, not sure what they're, I guess they're questioning whether that was an interception. Hard to tell from this side of the field, but of course that Husky sideline, you could say judging by their reaction, but they're not going to say that that wasn't an interception, of course. But it looks like this Husky defense is going to have to come back onto the field. Of course, it is a fourth down situation if it is, and there it is. So an incomplete pass, not an interception, as the referees chat this one over and ultimately rule that it hit the ground and was not corralled by the Husky defender, but still Evan Owen in on that play, and another big one there for him and this Husky defense.
Yeah, forces a punt. Either way, the Huskies probably would have a little bit better field position if the interception would have held up. But either way, defensive stop, another defensive stop for the team, and see if the offense can get things going with their second drive of the game.
So 2 quick 3-and-outs is all that's going to be it for the Wilkes Central Eagles, as the officials they're trying to get the correct spot marker here for the ball and get that chain gang. They're lined up correctly on the far sideline. A good turnout here for tonight's matchup, especially for Ashe County. Always travels well, and it doesn't hurt whenever you're boasting an undefeated team and a great product on the field, as the Huskies have displayed so far this season. So that's going to be ultimately ruled once again an incomplete pass, no interception, making about 4th and 9, and another punting situation. Williams on to punt. A good high kick this time, fair catch is called for, and a little bit of trouble there from Owen, has to fall down, but does hang on to the ball, and we'll see if this Husky offense can straighten things out on their next possession. So far it's been 3 3-and-outs, 2 for Wilkes Central, 1 for the Ashe County Huskies. Really not the shootout that you might expect so far in this ball game, although it is early.
And Ashe really kicked themselves in the foot last time, even though I still question that intentional grounding call, but nonetheless, they backed themselves up, and hopefully if they can get the ball moving here, they'll get away with the stupid penalties.
This time going back to the ground game with Sullivan. Carries it ahead for a nice gain of about 5 yards, and we talked about it all season again. Can't hit it enough, though, really. The sophomores for this Ashe County team stepping up, and Sky Sullivan, he's a big part of that.
They are. We've got a trio of them that have really came to play this year. And, you know, Coach Hampton, I don't know how much he was really going to be counting on his sophomores, but, you know, they have done everything that this team has asked of them.
This time, 2nd down and 5 to go. Bowers dropping back, passing it out, and pass is reeled in by Jacob Blevins. A familiar hookup there, as we've seen it a lot this season. Bowers to Blevins, call it the B squared, and Blevins had a heck of a game last week, 3 catches and 162 yards and 3 touchdowns. 4 catches last week, and just a big-time game from Jacob.
He shows off that speed. Pretty much every team he plays really struggles to match up with him.
So after they pick up the first down, now check down toss. This time again finds Blevins, cutting across the middle does Bowers. Another nice hookup, short gain there, about 5 yards we'll call it. But still a nice pickup there on first down through the air. This air raid offense suiting the Huskies just fine this year. Last year it was the Jonathan Cox show on offense, but I'll tell you what, the way they put up points, you wouldn't know that they really miss him a tremendous amount, although of course you do miss a running back with his caliber of play.
It would be interesting to see if the Huskies had him back on this year's team, you know, how incredibly strong that offense would look. No knock on Sullivan or our running game, but we just haven't really turned to it much. But teams would really have to respect having an all-conference running back as well as all the weapons we have on the outside.
So after that incomplete pass, that's going to be a 3rd down and 5 for this Ashe County offense. Going with 4-wide set, off play action. Bowers fires across the middle, pass tipped and falls incomplete. A bit of a dangerous throw that time, trying to hit his receiver with 1 or 2 men right on him.
That was tough throw there, but luckily off that bounce, no interception there. Huskies will just punt it away.
So not a very long drive that time for the Huskies. Did pick up one first down, the first one for either squad in this ball game. And if you'd have told me at this point each team had the ball twice and only one first down between the two of them and no points, that'd be a little bit hard to believe the way that these two teams can put up points, especially this Ashe County offense. This is a great punt this time from McNeil. Oh, just out of the reach, but not for lack of effort that time. Diving for it was Evan Owen, trying to pin him deep down at the 1-yard line, but ultimately that's going to be to no avail. That's going to go into the end zone for a touchback, so we'll see this Eagles offense come back onto the field, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line, still trying to get that mojo working either squad on their offensive side. So Horton bringing his offensive unit back onto the field. Going with this 2 tailback set. In the gun, here's the option. Now the toss, ball hits the dirt and pile on it. Looks like Wilkes Central did recover, though, and they did. Good job there by Williams just falling on that one, but didn't really see that one in on the pitch.
And both teams so far continue to shoot themselves in the foot right there. Just a bad pitch and not really paying attention there was the running back. And that's going to back them up an extra 4 or 5 yards there, and this Husky defense ready to tee off.
2nd down and 14, shotgun snap. Horton's got to get rid of it. He does not, and there is Alex Richardson just grabbing the bull by the horns. It looked like there and wrestling him down. Looked like he should be in the rodeo with that dive.
Well, this has got to be one of the best quarters he's had yet this season, all over the field.
Already making 3 big tackles in the game, and none bigger than that one there as he comes up with a sack on Horton. And, you know, he wishes he would have gotten rid of that coming from the blind side. I don't think he realized he was there until it was a bit too late. So 3rd down, 20 yards to go, heaving it deep down the field, just hoping for a prayer there, more like a Hail Mary throw, and that one's going to fall incomplete. He was looking in the direction of Jordan James, but it's hard to find a man quite that fast to catch up to that ball.
Yeah, just kind of lobbed it out there, plus looked like James was double covered there. Kind of questioned that play call there, but, you know, just chuck it up deep. They were really back against it with the fumble and then the sack, so might have picked up a few yards to help the punter out a little bit, but they just decided to throw it deep.
So Williams will punt, backed up from his own goal line, and gets off a nice kick. That's going to take a Wilkes Central roll, and will go out about the 45, 46-yard line, they'll say, of Ashe County. So the Huskies, once again, going to be with very good field position. We'll see if they can capitalize now and see if they can sustain a drive. I'll get it out here in just a second after being unsuccessful their first 2 possessions. So neither team yet to score in this young ball game. First quarter, zeros across the board. Bowers back onto the field leading this potent Husky offense. 4 wide set, takes the shotgun snap, fires it out, this time complete to Mason McNeil, moves it across midfield and into Wilkes Central territory. Nice pickup on 1st down. Called about a gain of 8. So 2nd down and 2. And this is always a situation you like to see, if you're me, go for a deep pass here, because then you're still in a 3rd and manageable situation.
Yeah, you see a lot of teams do that, and we'll see if Hampton wants to draw that up as well.
Maybe roll the dice a bit. Now dropping back, firing deep on the far sideline. Pass is caught, and another nice grab. Now Blevins still trying to work his way loose, but nice job there wrapping him up by the ankles by Justin Parsons. And then we also see number 1, Terry Calhoun, coming in and helping wrestle Blevins down to the ground, but not before he picks up a nice gainer and another 1st down for this Ashe County offense, their 2nd of the night.
And a nice route ran there by Blevins, got open and protected the football right there. It looked like Parsons was really trying to strip it away there, but Blevins held on to it. Huskies right now driving, see if they can punch this one into the end zone.
Another 4 wide shotgun set for the Huskies. Bowers, plenty of time to throw. Check down pass is caught by Ellis. Turning up, he's at the 20, the 10. Nice blocks downfield, and he's going to reach pay dirt. Touchdown, Huskies.
A well-designed play there. Ellis comes across the field, and as soon as he catches it, it looks like the Huskies went right into blocking downfield. And great play call, great execution, puts the Huskies on the board first.
Yeah, you caught it there. Went into blocking mode immediately, as we see there on replay. And just a great job there by the other receivers to open up some space there for Ellis, and you give him that much open field, he knows what to do with it.
Yeah, one of the quicker guys around, especially in this conference, makes a good move and just took off down the sidelines.
We talk about the continued contributions from the underclassmen on this Husky squad as Richardson tacks on the extra point right down the pipe, and Colin Ellis is another one, just a sophomore, but already making a big-time play in this one, as we've seen from him so often this season. And the Huskies doesn't take them long that time, just 3 plays to make it 53 yards down the field, capped off by the 30-yarder from Bowers to Colin Ellis. Of course, the extra point is good, and how about this? Another great drive for CB there. Connor Bowers, 3 for 3.
Perfect, as you said, did not miss a pass there, and his receivers helped him out by getting wide open. And maybe you can say the Wilkes Central defense helped out by not covering very well, but either way, Bowers hit him right in stride and helped lead him to a big 7 points.
So Ashe County able to draw first blood in this one, coming a little bit later than I think most would have anticipated. The first points in this ball game, about midway through this first period. But Ashe County will take it, and so far the defense holding up their end of the bargain. And anytime you can get points on the board like this Ashe County offense can, you've got to feel good anytime you have a lead, no matter how slim it is, with the way this defense has played this year.
Coach Hampton probably really likes when his offense scores first. He knows the defense knows they have to go out there and protect the lead. Maybe play a little less stressed out there, make some plays, not having to worry so much about trying to force turnovers or get their team back in it. When the offense gives you a lead, just go out there and play hard.
Boy, how about that? James gets it on the outside with a little bit of room, but Owen stepping up and making a very nice play on special teams. He does it both on defense and special teams. This guy has really come into his own the last couple of weeks for this Husky team.
He has, and we saw him fill in as well at wide receiver when Blevins was out and McNeil was out. Had a pretty solid game against Watauga. He can really do it all, and I think Coach Hampton really values, he's kind of, the utility man for the football team.
Now on the hand, no, he keeps it himself. Oh, and maybe he shouldn't have. Horton upended that time. First contact was made, I believe, there by Bradley Lucas, coming in and laying a hit down on him, and big-time play there made in the backfield by the Huskies.
Yeah, defense really excited on that hit there. Can't blame him. Lucas just upends the guy and looked like might have gained a yard, maybe a foot, who knows, but great play there, not biting on the handoff and tracking the quarterback to the edge.
It's actually calling a loss of 1. So we see now a screenplay being drawn up for James. Nothing doing, though, across the middle. The Huskies were not fooled. And, my goodness, half the team in on that tackle.
Yeah, that bubble screen going nowhere. If you can keep James from really getting out in space, you're going to do well. Good job by the Ashe defense.
One half of the Baker boys making the first contact, I believe. They're led by number 52, Sean Baker. And those two guys, I believe, celebrating a big birthday here. And getting to celebrate on this Saturday evening game, making a big play for this Husky defense once again. They'll still call it no gain, so that brings up a 3rd down and 11. And it seems like Wilkes Central has been in this situation every time they've had the ball so far in this game. 3 wide set. Horton in the gun, in some trouble, feeling the heat, rolling around. Can he get rid of it? Still having some trouble. Just has to chuck this one in the dirt, and flags fly. We'll see which way this one's going to be called. I'm going to say it was intended for Jordan James, but he's just trying to avoid getting sacked that time, and that's going to be a holding penalty, which you figure would be declined, and it is by the Huskies, so that brings up yet another punting situation, and Wilkes Central, if I'm correct, they still haven't picked up a 1st down in this one.
I think you're exactly right. The Eagle offense has just been absolutely shut down by the Huskies so far. Kind of surprised they haven't tried to run the ball a little bit more, but needless to say, the Ashe defense came to play on this Saturday night.
It looks like in the early going, they're going to try to match the Huskies with their passing attack, but to no avail thus far for this Eagle offense, as we see Victor Williams back, ready to boot this one away, and it's a very nice punt. Going to be fielded back about the 40-yard line. Trying to find some room to work. Not much doing there for Hunter Barnes. And he's only going to get about a yard on the return. Still great field position, though, for the Huskies, starting from their own 41-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. Ashe County will look to build off of the success of their last drive, which was short and sweet, as we've seen so many be for the Ashe County Huskies. Just 3 plays last time, and they punched it in for a nice touchdown.
we'll get a chance to see if the offense can keep the momentum going. Defense keeps giving them pretty good field position. See if the Huskies can cap the drive off with a score for the second time.
But before the snap, another penalty in this game, and both teams looking a little shaky at the start on this one. I don't know, at this point of the season, you don't want to say early season, jitters, but it seems to be the case here. Just a little bit of rust for both of these squads, maybe the extra day off, you never know.
Absolutely, just kind of hard to pinpoint what it could be. But, Coach Hampton will get on these guys for the lazy penalties. And, pre-snap penalties are always the worst. Coaches really hate on that.
So a tight formation this time for the Huskies, still 4 wide. Pass not able to be reeled in that time on the outside edge by senior wideout Jacob Worley. Maybe just a touch too high by Bowers. Worley was wide open, though, delivered there not at a bad spot on the outside edge. Unable to hook up with his wideout, so it'll be 2nd down and 15 now after the incomplete pass. Things not coming easy for either squad. And for the Ashe County offense, a lot of it's self-inflicted with the penalties early on in this ball game. 4 wide set once again. Bowers looking for the one-on-one matchup up top, and he gets it for Blevins, shakes one defender, now turns it upfield, and he is going to be brought down, but not before a nice big-time gainer that time. Once again for this Ashe County offense, and you never know with Blevins on the outside edge, that highlight reel play he made last week, making 3 Allegheny defenders look foolish, but that time he was eventually brought down by Terry Calhoun.
And defenses are so frustrated. They think they have him cornered, but just one little quick step, and he's just going to take it down the sideline every time.
Yeah, as you said, as we see a sideline warning issued to Wilkes Central. No penalty, just a warning. And we're ready to go again, 1st and 10 after the big-time gainer for the Huskies. Shotgun snap, play action, firing it out, and did he make the catch? No, a diving effort that time by Blevins, just a bit underthrown by Bowers that time. And that's going to be an incomplete pass, make it 2nd down and 10.
Number 20, Alex Anderson on the coverage for the Eagles.
Just one scoring play so far in this first period. It was a big one, though, for Ashe County, 30-yard gainer. Bowers to Colin Ellis. Bowers getting in the signals from that Husky sideline, going with no-huddle offense. 4 wide set. Now screenplay being set up for Worley, and he loses the football. It's going to be picked up, and that's going to be a turnover for the Ashe County offense, and they just continue to inflict themselves with these bad plays.
Yeah, tough break there. Looked like a well-designed play, and Worley looking upfield, but just got hit right there, lost the ball. It might have been Justin Parsons in there on the recovery, couldn't quite tell. But either way, it's Wilkes Central football.
It's a little bit of sloppy playing continues from both of these squads, as that gives Wilkes Central great field position, 1st and 10 on their own 41-yard line. Going with a 3 wide set. Now a little bit of a counter play that time on the misdirection, and that's going to be immediately wrapped up, though. I believe that was Williams on the carry. Just a short gain. Maybe gets a yard. If that's a generous yard. Jason Baker stepping up and making another nice play. These Baker boys are forced to be reckoned with for this Ashe County defense. We do have an injured player, though, on the field. And the Huskies helping him down. That's going to be number 77, Dedrick Smith, the sophomore defensive lineman and offensive lineman. And he looks hurt down there, Nate. You got to hope that everything's okay with him. Not sure exactly what type of injury he sustained on the play.
Yeah, he sure does. Look like he tried to get off under his own power, but just couldn't make it off the field. Trainers out there, hopefully everything's okay.
And while we have a minute, we talked about both of these squads in the early going, undefeated in conference play. Ashe County, of course, still undefeated overall. But right now, heading into this week's, we haven't calculated the results from last night because they'll say this is still week 2 action. But after 1 week, Ashe County, East Wilkes, Elkin, and Wilkes Central all coming out victorious last week. And Nate, we talked about it late in that Allegheny game, Elkin did come up with a nice shutout victory against Starmount, and that's a big surprise, certainly looking at the landscape in the Mountain Valley Conference.
They did. Elkin really shocked everybody. I don't think anybody saw that coming at all. And East Wilkes, you know what, they were my sleeper pick this year. I'm going to keep bragging on them until they let me down, but they get a big conference win to start out their season. They're right behind us there with Elkin and Wilkes Central, of course. Really put a beating on West Wilkes.
So Ashe County certainly looking to keep their winning going this year in the early season, as we see they're 4-0 overall. Best start in school history, and of course they're looking to keep it going. Wilkes Central, as you mentioned earlier, just 1-4 on the season, but all that really matters for them from here on out is conference play, as they are 1-0, which is the most important category for any squad going forward here on out, as we are into the meat of the season right now in the early going in conference play. And as we see on screen, getting some help coming off the field is Dedrick Smith. Good to see him able to walk mostly under his own power off the field, and he'll take a seat on the Wilkes Central bench. Certainly hope that he's okay. Not sure, judging by the difficulty coming off the field, if he'll be back tonight, but hopefully it's not a lengthy timeout for him.
At their own 41-yard line.
Back to the action after the delay there on the injury. 2nd down and 9 is where we stand for this Wilkes Central offense, trailing in the early going 7-0 to the Ashe County Huskies. Horton trying to just muster up something on this offensive drive. Now going deep down the field, looking for James. Pass is caught. Was he in bounds, though? And the officials say yes, he was. So a big-time gain, and that's the first one we've seen out of this Wilkes Central offense.
And that's what James brings you on the outside. He's probably one of the faster kids in the whole conference. He's used to playing big-time football. He knows what it takes, and comes up here to Wilkes Central. And you know, if they can get him the football, watch out. He can make a lot of guys miss right there, just blaze down the field wide open.
So the Butler transfer making the Huskies pay on that big-time gain. Sets Wilkes Central up nicely, 1st and 10. Now going back to the ground game. Has some room on the near side. Does Williams, finally forced out of bounds there. Nice job on the touch contact by number 52, Sean Baker. The other half of the Baker boys, we saw his brother Jason make a big play just momentarily ago. But not before Williams picks up about 8 yards on the ground, and that's more like what you're used to seeing out of this Wilkes Central offense.
Yeah, he was able to get the edge there, but credit to the Husky defense. They got over there, kept him from turning it upfield and getting more.
So they like working the short side of the field. This time working the wide side. The swing pass out to Bynum. He's fighting forward, and a big-time gainer there. And that takes it deep into Husky territory down just outside the 10-yard line.
Wilkes Central really trying to get some momentum on their side. Really haven't done much so far the whole quarter. And right here got a chance in the Husky red zone.
But wait, we do see a late flag coming into the picture. So after the nice gainer, that's going to be negated due to a holding penalty. Did notice some good blocking and a little too good for Wilkes Central. Unfortunately for this Eagle offense, just continues to inflict themselves with some more bad plays, shooting themselves in the foot. And that will back it up. We will redo 2nd down now after the penalty, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. That'll make it 2nd down, and we'll call it 12 yards to go to reach the first. Backs them all the way up to the 35-yard line of this Ashe County side of the field. So a break there for this Husky defense. Now rolling out off play action, slips. Horton, can he get rid of it? No, he's going to be wrestled down in the backfield, and bringing him down was big number 77, Jason Baker. Also with some help in there, I believe we'll credit half a sack to the grass.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a slip there, and Brandon Blevins in the area as well. They might divide that one up into thirds. Who knows?
So a third of a sack, as you said there, for both Baker, Blevins, and the turf, as the first quarter now comes to a close as the clock hits zeros. Ashe County, after 1, leading 7-0 in what has been a defensive matchup so far in this game. Stay tuned in. We'll be back with second quarter action here on Sky Zone Sports.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And welcome back in for the Saturday night edition of Friday Night Football here on Sky Zone HD Channel 1. Glad to have you back in with us as we're just getting ready to start second quarter action from West Steel Stadium at Wilkes Central High School in a rivalry matchup between the Ashe County Huskies and the Wilkes Central Eagles. And this matchup has provided us with a lot of great moments over the years. Strong tradition at both of these schools over the last decade.
And obviously a big rivalry between the two schools as well. Neither school really likes each other, and you know we've pretty much been in the same conference since our school came into existence. Wilkes Central is one of the few teams that never really bounced around.
3rd and 22. Horton just having to let it fly deep, looking for James. Some nice defense being displayed by Evan Owen once again, getting in there between James and the ball and breaking that pass up.
You really have to be happy with this Husky secondary pretty much the whole season between him and Kenny Reed and obviously Joseph Louder back there. Strong defensive effort from the backline guys.
So another punting situation on 4th down and 22 for the Eagles. Williams going to boot this one away. Looks to pin Ashe County deep. Low punt, but a nice one. Takes a good bounce for the Eagles. That's going to roll all the way down about the 6-7 yard line where it will be touchdown by number 80 that time for the Eagles, Deshaun Ferguson. And the Huskies going to be in a bit of a difficult situation here. They're going to have to put together a very nice drive from their own 7-yard line.
They are. We'll see what the coaches call up here. Want to be a little bit secure with the ball. Don't want to turn it over here, give the Eagles really good field position.
Ashe County, much like Wilkes Central, having a go of it on offense, although they have put 7 on the board. This time pinned back in their own 7-yard line on the read option. Bowers keeping it himself, showing off his legs, and rolls it out there to about the 20-yard line. Nice gain there that time on the QB keep, and that's going to be a first down for the Huskies at the 19-yard line.
Good play call there, something the Eagle defense hasn't seen all night with Connor running the football, and definitely moved them out into much better field position just in case they do have to punt. We won't have anybody standing in the end zone.
So now 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line, keeping it on the ground. This time Bowers does hand it off, though, to sophomore tailback Sky Sullivan, but having a tough go that time, maybe a gain of a yard at the 20. Make it 2nd down and 9. Bowers really showing off his wheels last week. We saw him scramble late in that game, setting up the final score there on the nice drive for the Huskies as he got it all the way down inside the 10, setting up Colin Ellis's 9-yard touchdown run. Don't see him run it a lot, but very efficient when he does choose to run it. This time McNeil has a nice catch, but then he coughs up the football, and Ashe County is not able to recover the fumble. Making a diving effort that time was Jacob Carlton, but Wilkes Central able to pounce on that one first and sets up the Eagles with great field position and another turnover for the Huskies in the early going.
Yeah, as you said, 2nd turnover of the game. Wilkes Central defense really in there grabbing at the ball, reaching for it, trying to strip it. It worked the first time, and it looks like it's worked again here. And we'll see what the Eagles have in store, try to tie this ball game up.
We haven't seen this really at all to speak of for Ashe County, and already twice in this one they've coughed up the ball. And there it's just a lack of being able to tuck that one away and out of the reach of the defenders.
Absolutely. That's something that teams really preach to their kids, try to force some turnovers. And we see a really bad snap there. Looks like Horton all the way back to the 45. And just as soon as we talk about them getting good field position, they blow it all right there on a big botch snap.
Yeah, Horton has just run back and kind of assumed the fetal position. He just jumps down and grits on that ball. Doesn't want to give up possession, but, man, I tell you what, just shooting themselves in the foot continually as this is going to be 2nd down and over 20 yards now after the errant snap. And this time, he fakes the handoff, chose to keep it himself, and he gets decked yet again, taking more punishment as Horton, but we do see some flags fly. So some laundry on the field. A couple of officials saw something they didn't like. And we'll get word from the head official. That's going to be a false start against Wilkes Central. Looks like there might be another penalty. We'll see what the word is. And another false start. I've never seen that. Normally if one jumps, then another player cannot have a false start. It looks like Ashe County will decline the penalty, though, and take the loss of downs and the loss of yardage.
3rd and about 40.
Something every coach wants to see for your offensive unit if you're Coach Ron Turner.
Yeah, you've really got some plays ready for this one, I'm sure.
So backs the Eagles up to their side of the field from their own 47-yard line. And you said it, it really is probably about 3rd down and 30-plus yards, to say the least. This time on the option, the pitch comes back to Williams, and another curious play call, and Baker's having nothing of it. He swallows him up in the backfield down inside the 40-yard line. So back him up even more. And once again, Victor Williams getting his work, but not how he would like to see it in the punting game.
Yeah, Coach Hampton really has to be happy with how his defense responded here. Looks like you're going to need 2 cameras to find out where the first down marker is.
Back to receive the punt for Ashe County, number 5, Hunter Barnes.
Hunter Barnes back to return. Williams gets off another nice punt. Barnes going to let this one bounce, and it takes a great Wilkes Central roll. He's going to let it go. No, it dies at the 1-yard line, so a perfect punt. That time from the legs of Victor Williams. If there's one thing you can at least hang your hat on, it's your punting game if you're Wilkes Central right now.
Yeah, I believe that's at least the 2nd time they've had a punt down inside the Husky 10-yard line. We'll see what Ashe can do here. Maybe they could rip off a 99-yard scoring drive. Hopefully just no more turnovers.
Yeah, if you're Coach Hampton, you're definitely preaching to your guys, hang on to that football, and maybe especially preaching to your receivers right now. Make the catch and wrap up that football and get down if you have to. Don't let these guys claw at that football. There we go. Bowers keeping it on the read option once again, working his way out, stretching it ahead, and then going to be knocked back. Gets out there close to the 10-yard line, though, with forward progress. And Bowers once again throwing them a little bit different look, keeping this Eagle defense on their heels.
Unfortunately, looks like a flag out there. Not sure what it might be.
Deshaun Ferguson on that last tackle.
Deshaun Ferguson on the tackle. And that's going to be a holding penalty against the Ashe County Husky offensive unit. Again, more penalties coming into play. And I don't remember seeing this many flags in the entire Allegheny game from either squad. And it seems like Ashe County has had, 4 or 5 penalties at least in the early going themselves.
Yeah, and Wilkes Central also really beating themselves. So far, not really sure why all the sloppiness, but as you said, maybe because we're playing on a Saturday night, don't really know. Most of these kids might want to be home watching college football, but gotta come out here and play and try to get a win.
So after the penalty, it'll make it 1st down and 6. So they did gain a few yards, did the Huskies. After all's told, and Sullivan this time breaking away for a nice scamper. Gets it out across the 15-yard line, out to about the 17, we'll call it. And that'll be enough to move those chains, so the Huskies averting danger and not getting pinned back any deeper in their own territory. As you said, you at least like to have some room for your punter, but these Huskies, they're thinking 6.
Absolutely. You see a couple nice running plays there to help out the offense. Obviously, we're a pass-first team, but when you can move the ball on the ground, teams have a whole lot more to worry about.
Twin receivers to the left and right. Hit as he throws is Connor Bowers, barely able to get that one away. And a big-time play, that time coming in, making the hit, I should say, is number 51, Will Jarvis, getting his money's worth right there with that hit on Bowers.
Yeah, pretty much came in unblocked and absolutely laid a big hit on Bowers. He was able to get rid of the football, so it wasn't a sack, but we got to hope our quarterback's okay after taking that shot.
Bowers looks good to go. Be 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass, firing it out to the left side this time. Again, feeling the heat as he threw it. Just had to get rid of that one maybe a touch too early, causing the ball to be underthrown. I'll tell you what, a couple of straight hurries by this defensive unit for the Eagles, and they're looking strong on that side of the ball.
Eagles really pinning their ears back, trying to get pressure on Bowers, and so far it's worked on a couple of throws. Not really what we're used to seeing from him, but also need the offensive line to step up as well. It's not like they're really sending a big blitz or anything. There should be enough guys to block who they're bringing, but right now the Ashe offensive line just getting a little bit overpowered.
So this brings up a 3rd down and 10 from their own 17-yard line. Firing across the middle, has McNeil wide open out across the 35. 40 is tripped up, however. He was looking for the end zone, I believe, but Terry Calhoun had some other ideas. Nonetheless, a very nice gain that time on 3rd and 10 from the Huskies, moving it out across the 40-yard line.
And big 3rd down conversion there through the passing game. Bowers hits McNeil in stride with a perfect throw.
So the Husky drive stays alive with another nice 3rd down conversion. 1st and 10 now from the Husky 41. 3 wide to the left, 1 to the near side. Bowers looking across the middle. Hooks up with Ellis this time, moving it across midfield and into Eagle territory. So back-to-back nice completions, and that's more of what we're used to seeing from this Husky offense.
Looks like we're really getting in a nice little groove here going down the field. Obviously, no huddle, we're used to seeing that. Hopefully we can keep the Eagles on their heels here.
So another 1st down is picked up. Held at the 43-yard line of Wilkes Central. Bowers dropping back, looking to air it out all the way, has to run, flushed out from the pocket, making a running throw, bobbled, and then it is reeled in. Boy, an amazing catch there that time from Colin Ellis. We saw him do it last week in the early going against Allegheny, bobbled the pass and sort of tipped it to himself, and there he gets the same play, only this time on the near side of the field, and that's going to be another Ashe County 1st down.
And great focus and concentration there. He's going down. Doesn't have the ball, but just keeps fighting it. He's falling down and reels it in before he hits the out-of-bounds line.
Maybe looking for a juggling career.
He might be.
Is Colin Ellis. Nice gainer there via the air. This time going to the ground game. Trying to get this rushing attack going are the Huskies. Sullivan tripped up after he picks up a pair. Tackle made by Will Jarvis. He's still feeling it after laying that big hit on Connor Bowers just a couple of plays, or 3 plays ago, I should say. So they'll say ultimately just a gain of about 1. Makes it 2nd down and 9 for the Huskies. Inside the Eagle 30-yard line, threatening on this drive that started from their own 1. Already a very nice drive for the Huskies. This pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Nice job getting their hands in the air that time. We see some celebrating going on from the Eagles. That was either going to be number 75, Ben Elam, or 55, Nick Cirillo. Not sure who got their hand on it, but those two just glad to get that pass batted down.
Yeah, Bowers looking deep over the middle there to McNeil. Looked like McNeil might have had a step right there. That could have been a big touchdown pass, but the Eagle defensive line there gets a hand up and knocks that pass down.
So another 3rd and long situation for the Huskies, already converted on 3rd and 10. Now they're facing a 3rd down and 9 situation. And we are going to get a TO from Coach Brian Hampton. He's going to come out here and talk this one over with his senior quarterback Bowers and this Husky offense. Try to find something going here on another 3rd and long situation. Definitely not the ideal situation for Ashe County, getting into these 3rd and long situations. But as we mentioned a moment ago, converted on 3rd and 10 earlier this drive. They'll look for more of the same here on 3rd down and 10. And we'll take a quick look at the Husky schedule for the season, coming up with some big wins. Of course, we see there the no contest against High Brighton. But really, these other games, with the exception of Watauga, and really they were in control of the North Surrey game, let them back into it. Ashe County, really hasn't been challenged a tremendous amount this season, and aside from High Brighton and Watauga.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And, it's early in the season, can't really tell what the real meat of the conference schedule is going to look like. But it may be safe to say we might not really be challenged until we get to that Halloween night game at Starmount. And, no disrespect to the Wilkes County schools, but, if you look at their overall records, they're really struggling this year. North has yet to win a game. West Wilkes just has 1 win. So, we might go a little while without being tested, and we'll see what we have when we face Starmount Elkin to close the year.
As you said, at those 2 big games at the end of the year on the road. But right now, Huskies got to focus on this 3rd and 9 against Wilkes Central, looking deep to the far sidelines, and pass is incomplete. Intended for McNeil. No, they're going to say it was complete. So McNeil just put the ball down after making the catch. Thought he may have had some trouble keeping the handle on the ball, but the referees are going to say he maintained possession until he made contact, or the defender made contact, I should say, and he hit the ground. But that's going to be just shy, it appears, of the 1st down marker. And the Huskies, you would think, keep the offensive unit on the field, and they indeed will on 4th down and a short one in red zone territory now, just inside the 20. Bowers hands it off to Sullivan, has the first down and then some. A nice pickup there by Sky Sullivan, gets it all the way down inside the 15-yard line of the Eagles.
Absolutely no second guessing there by Hampton. Didn't look like he even looked towards Kendall Richardson on the sideline to go for a field goal there. He absolutely wanted to pick up that 4th and short.
Huskies looking poised to cap off this drive with at least a field goal, but they're thinking 6. Going for it on 4th down and converting. Bowers drops back, fires to the near side. Pass is incomplete. Some nice defense that time, laying out and getting a hand on the ball was number 20, Alec Anderson.
That was very good coverage. One of the few times tonight we've seen one of their defensive backs right in the jersey of one of our receivers.
4th and short situation there. The Huskies just converted. That's one instance where, they got to be missing a man by the name of Brandon Wingler off of last year's squad, the big fullback, always old faithful on those short yardage situations. Huskies looking in zone and incomplete. Another nice defensive play, maybe a little bit too good defense, getting there a little early, I believe, and the flag will fly in the end zone.
Yeah, it looked like he hit McNeil there just a little bit early. Got beat on the little out route right there, had no real answer there in the corner. Good route ran by McNeil, and it looks like he's going to draw a pass interference penalty.
So the Huskies will be rewarded not with a touchdown, but the pass interference call. A little bit too aggressive that time. I believe that was Andrew Bynum getting in there, making the hit on McNeil. So that's going to be half the distance to the goal now. And thought that was going to be a first down, but looks like the officials leaving it 2nd down. In that instance, Nate, isn't it usually an automatic first down?
You know what? It is in college and the pros, but I'm not really sure. We saw that intentional grounding penalty earlier. Didn't really understand that either. So, I might need to brush up on the old North Carolina High School Athletic Association rule book.
So regardless, they left it at 2nd down, so I guess that's the rule. And then we see there on the 2nd down play, handoff went to Sky Sullivan. Unable to pick up the first or get it into the end zone. Now a 3rd and 1 from the 3-yard line. Bowers hands it off to Sullivan again, pounding up the middle, keeping those legs churning, and the big guy is rewarded with 6 points.
And how about that, a 99-yard scoring drive? That's really a backbreaker for the Eagle defense.
So the Huskies, you said it there, able to cap it off with the nice strong legs of Sky Sullivan being rewarded. And it's good to see, we don't run the ball a lot, but he's one who's back there blocking for Bowers, and always nice to reward your running backs and fullbacks with a nice touchdown scamper.
Yeah, absolutely, and right there, just absolutely run it right at him there on a couple of plays. Coach Hampton has to be really pleased with his run blocking there from his linemen, and good job by Sullivan finding the open holes.
Richardson on for the PAT and splits the uprights. Add one more, and the Huskies have now stretched out a bit in the early going in this second quarter, now leading by 2-touchdown score of 14-0. You talk about it there, that nice 15-play, 99-yard drive by the Huskies, capped off by Scott Sullivan.
That's our version of running the clock down.
That's right. We don't see the Huskies have to put together too many long drives, but I'll tell you what, it's really nice to see the Huskies have that capability to just pin your ears back and just fight hard. Don't really go for the huge plays downfield and just be able to put together a very solid drive and take your time and punch it in for a touchdown. The points coming here not too often now. Ashe County has put up 14 big points, and we talk about being tested down the road so far here tonight, Nate. They're being really tested by this Wilkes Central team.
Central's really giving them their best shot, and Central's played a pretty tough non-conference slate of games as well, getting their program set for the Mountain Valley season. So far, they're really giving the Huskies a pretty good shot here.
This is a low line drive kick from Richardson this time, and it finds the end zone. So they don't have to worry about the dangerous James returning that one. Richardson's done a great job all season on kickoffs, field goals, you name it. And also has come up with some nice tackles and defense. That's going to be a touchback, so Wilkes Central again will take over from their own 20-yard line, where it will be 1st down and 10. Still looking to find some consistency from their offensive unit. Have put together one nice drive so far, but penalties have played a huge factor, and just some sloppiness in general with the ball. Some bad snaps and losing the handle a couple of times as well for this Wilkes Central offense. There we see the ball coming out yet again. Who comes up with it? It looks like the Huskies have it, and indeed they do. We just talked about it almost on cue. They cough up the ball once again.
And it looked like Hunter Scott there for the recovery. Big guy, really excited there to come up with the fumble. Got to be happy for any of the big guys up front when they get their hands on the football.
So the Husky offense this time won't have to work nearly as hard if they try to get it in to the end zone once again. Starting off from the Wilkes Central 17-yard line, almost a complete reversal from starting on your own 1-yard line. And the Huskies will look to capitalize on the great field position after the takeaway. Both teams turning it over early and fairly often in this one. Certainly for the Huskies in terms of their season production. Here's a little swing pass, bubble screen, I believe, out there on the edge to Blevins, finding some room, and he is going to get in for a touchdown. Ashe County just pouring it on now. Just takes him one play from the 17-yard line for 6 more.
And big momentum swing continues for the Huskies. They drive it down the Eagles' throat for 99 yards, get the fumble on the first play, and then score one play later.
Well, you talk about it, a heartbreaker there. If you're Wilkes Central, maybe feeling the effects of giving up a 99-yard drive the previous Husky offensive possession.
Absolutely. You know, the defense definitely had to be a little drained after that. Long possession. They spent a lot of time on the field, and then they have to go right back out there after a turnover.
And the PAT is up, and it's good. And just like that, the Huskies, after we talked about just a moment ago, not many points so far in this ball game, but there we see it, 21 after that one. And it's just a one-play, 17-yard drive for the Huskies. Nice 17-yard pass from Bowers to Blevins. And a good job there by this Ashe County offense, once again capitalizing on the great field position. So early on in the second period now, 21-0. Ashe County feeling a bit more comfortable. I think some of these fans maybe started getting a little antsy with the early play from the Ashe County offense, and also the big plays that we've seen from Wilkes Central on defense and a couple of offensive plays.
Yeah, and on the other side of that, you got to think Wilkes Central's fans a little bit demoralized after the last few snaps. I mean, it's not even been minutes. It's just been a few snaps, and this game's really taken on a whole new look to it.
Yeah, what is it there in the span of 3 snaps of the ball? We've seen Ashe County go from a 7-0 lead to 21-0 now. And you said it there, it just really takes the wind out of the sails for the Eagle players and fans alike. And this kickoff is going to go out of bounds, but I believe it was blown dead before that. And that's going to be an offsides against Ashe County, so yet another costly flag there. Penalty against the Huskies. So they'll back it up and have to re-kick. Just a 5-yard penalty, but 5 yards can be quite a bit in the kicking game.
You know, win or lose this game, Hampton's really going to drill them on pre-snap penalties. I mean, you know, lining up offsides on a kickoff, that's something really easy to fix, and, you know, something he can't really be pleased about, just giving away free yards.
So now Richardson gets his big foot into this one. And it's going to be mishandled and finally fielded about the 19-yard line, trying to find some room up the middle. Nothing doing, no blocking down the middle. And he tried to find the lane, but nothing doing there on the return game. And the Huskies, great job pouncing on the return man. And that was Victor Williams, nothing doing there.
And it looked like Josh Hamilton down in there on the tackle, as well as Caleb Sexton.
So the Eagle offense looking to correct things on offensive side of the ball. Start from their own 26-yard line. Go into the ground game, but nothing doing there, and a nice hit is made almost immediately. Leading the way that time was Bradley Lucas.
Ashe defense has to feel really good about being able to stop Victor Williams. Just hasn't been able to get any open space, and they haven't really given Andrew Bynum many carries yet either. So the Ashe run defense really stout once again.
So little or no gain that time. Stay second down and 10 yards to go for the first. Horton swinging it out here on the near side. Pass is caught. Wrapped up almost immediately, but a nice catch there by Andrew Bynum coming out of the backfield.
Tristan Jones there with the tackle. I'm sure he'll be at the top of the stat list once again for tackles at the end of this game.
Yeah, he's been the leading tackler in 3 out of the 4 games for the Huskies so far, and last week still tallied 13, so nothing to be ashamed of for the young sophomore defensiveman. This can be a third down and short situation. Eagles looking for much more pass downfield, but nothing doing that time. And a bit of an errant throw, just trying for the Hail Mary, it looked like again, going for the prayer, but nothing going for that Wilkes Central offense.
I think he was going for Justin Parsons there deep down the middle. As you said, though, Ashe defense had that covered well.
So fourth down, and on comes Victor Williams yet again. This guy's just getting a workout kicking the ball.
He is. He's definitely earning his pay today.
Boy, had to really do some scampering there and did not get anything on that punt. That's only going to be a net gain of what, about maybe 9-10 yards.
Yeah, tough punt there. He's probably a little bit frustrated. The offense is not going so well, and kind of adds to it there with a bad punt.
Yeah, adding insult to injury, unfortunately, for this Wilkes Central squad, who were right in the thick of things just 2 or 3 minutes ago. 7-0 score, Ashe County on top now, staring it down. You're in a 3-touchdown deficit, and you've given up the ball on your own side of the field there at your 46-yard line. Bowers quickly taking the snap, got to get rid of it, flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, pass is complete, and a big-time hit laid on the receiver that time. Carter Calhoun feeling it, pops up immediately, but Deshaun Ferguson laying the lumber there.
Big hit there by your senior linebacker.
But the Huskies still able to pick up about 7 as they get it inside the 40-yard line of Wilkes Central. 2nd down and 3 situation. 3 receivers to the right. Now Ellis going to join Bowers in the backfield, and he's going to get it on cue out of the left side and bounces off one defender, still on his feet trying to fight for extra yardage, and he does a very nice job getting it down past the first down marker and almost to the 30-yard line.
Looks like Corey Burkhart there tried to make the tackle, but Ellis wasn't going to have any of that. Kind of steamrolled him and picked up about 5 more after the first hit.
Yeah, dropping him like a bad habit. And we see him fight forward for another Ashe County first down, and they look primed to score yet again. 1st and 10 on the Eagle 31. Bowers all alone in the gun, takes the snap. Dropping back, firing deep, looking left side, has his man wide open, and that is going to be another touchdown. Dial it up for 6 more. Jacob Blevins, the recipient of that touchdown throw.
Blevins breaks wide open down the sideline, and just no answer for a perfect throw.
So another big-time play, as we see there on instant replay. Nothing too fancy about that, just Blevins outspeeding the guys on the outside edge and getting into the end zone easily for the score. So now 27 unanswered points for this Ashe County offense, and things just continue to get worse. If you're the Wilkes Central Eagles, extra point attempt is up and splits them once again, does Richardson, so he's a perfect 4 for 4 tonight. And we see the Husky drive summary as the drive to the end zone there, a nice 3-play, 46-yard drive capped off by the 31-yard toss from Bowers to Jacob Blevins. Already a couple of scoring plays for Blevins in this ball game, and he had a nice 31-yard catch there. You can't talk enough about his wheels when he gets on the edge.
Just a real mismatch for pretty much any team we're going to be going up against, at least here in the regular season. Of course, things may change quite a bit during the playoffs, but right there, just showing off that speed.
So we saw Blevins. Looking through some of the drives that he's already got 2 touchdown catches in this ball game. We saw him with 3 last week, but he's already almost doubled his catch total from last week. It seems we're matching that at least. He's had 4 or 5 catches last week, only 4, but they were all big-time plays. And tonight so far, he's had a few more for just short yard gains, but showing off his big play capability once again right there. And we see Richardson put his big toe into this one. Will be fielded around the 5-yard line. James trying to find some room to the edge. Reversing fields now across the 20, 25. Unloading a big-time hit there on the would-be tackler. And he's going to be feeling that one for a while, number 85, Elmer Alvarez.
That will definitely bringing the lumber on that one, get the number of that bus that went through.
Wow. So James not only showing off his speed on that return, but also that he's quite a load there, lowering that shoulder and just unleashing some punishment that time on Alvarez.
Probably not what you'd expect from a 5'9" receiver, but really just put a hit there on our special teams.
So back on offense quickly. We see the toss go to Bynum, trying to fight it back toward the middle on the cutback, and nothing doing that time as we see Alex Richardson and also Tristan Jones in, stopping him behind the line for a nice loss there. If you're the Huskies, a bad loss. If you're a Wilkes Central fan, that's going to make it second down and about 14. Low snap that time to Horton, fires it out on the near side. Pass is caught that time by Deshaun Ferguson. Out there close to the 40-yard line. Nice pickup on second and long. Make it third down and a more manageable 5 yards for this Eagles offense. Second quarter and a 28-0 ball game. Ashe County really got it on cruise control at this point. Once we're hard to come by early on, and Horton all day to throw, now feeling some heat, and just has to toss this one as he takes a hit as well from Blevins, and a late flag is thrown. And we'll see if that's in the area of intentional grounding or if that's going to go against the Huskies, potentially a late hit. Also in that time on some pressure for the Huskies, we saw number 77, Jason Baker. And that's going to be intentional grounding. And you saw there on the far sideline, Coach Hampton kind of calling for that one. Maybe the referee had to throw it in that instance after the questionable intentional grounding called earlier in the game against Ashe County.
Absolutely. Hampton really campaigning for that one over there, and looked about exactly like what we got flagged for. So it would have been tough to not flag that one when they flagged us earlier.
So a fourth down and very long situation once again. We'll call it fourth and a country mile to be exact. Victor Williams yet again on to punt this one away. Low line drive punt, takes a nice bounce, but it's going to be fielded, and kind for a return is Owen, but Bynum's having nothing of it. And the ball comes loose, and Wilkes Central has recovered the football. Another turnover for the Huskies.
As you said, another turnover, very unlike what we've been doing so far this season.
So the Huskies, again, not able to secure that football and giving it up on their side of the field this time once again. That was Evan Owen, been complimenting him on his play all night, and not to take away from what he's done right, but just another just kind of inexcusable turnover there again for the Huskies, not able to wrap up that football and hang on to it through contact. So quickly back on offense. Pass from Horton goes out to James, and man, first contact was made by Reed, and then Bradley Lucas wrapping him up and throwing him down to the dirt. Gain of about 6 on the pass play. Down about the 36-yard line of the Huskies, where it'll be second down and 5 yards to go for the first. The Eagles still looking for their first points in the ball game. This time Horton going to take it himself, finding some room on the outside edge, diving ahead, and he's going to have a first down. Haven't seen Horton keeping himself a lot in this one, but finding some success on that play.
Yeah, surprised we haven't seen that. He's done it, not, I won't say quite a bit this year, but he has used his legs more than he has so far tonight. And, he's only a sophomore. He's only going to improve and, figure out the game as he gets older. But, right now he needs to go out there and make some plays, try to help out the Eagle offense here, maybe get a touchdown before the half.
Now looking deep down the far sideline, and there comes the flag in. Can't make contact when the ball's in the air like the Husky defenders just displayed, especially not right in front of the officials.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be doing it. If you're going to do it, try to be away from the official there, but not right in front of him.
So an obvious pass interference call. I believe that was Kenny Reed or Hunter Barnes there. I can't remember there. Couldn't see exactly who made the contact first, but either way, that's going to be a pass interference call regardless against the Huskies. 15-yard penalty, and that will grant Wilkes Central a first down automatically and keep their drive alive as they get it down right at the 20-yard line, so they are in red zone territory for the second time tonight. And it's actually going to be just a little bit farther, actually at the 15-yard line. First down and 10 at the 15 now. Wilkes Central putting together a nice drive. This time Horton going to have to get rid of it, and he cannot. And several Husky defenders back in there on that one. Bradley Lucas, Tristan Jones, Brandon Blevins, all back in there. And I believe even number 77, Baker that time, Jason, able to get to him as well. And Coach Ron Turner going to get a quick TO, and we see it once again. They're going to be pinned back in about a 2nd and 20 here, Nate. How many times have we seen them in 2nd and 3rd and even 4th downs with 15-plus yards to go?
Yeah, just some of their plays just haven't worked out. The Ashe defense has been all over them when they haven't worked out, been able to force some big losses. And as you said, this is at least the 2nd time that they've had it in our red zone, but been backed up well outside of it.
Coach Ron Turner, in his first season here at Wilkes Central High School, just trying to get things back to the winning tradition that we've seen last year. Curiously, only a 1-win campaign in Coach Funderburk's last year at the helm here at Wilkes Central, and that's very unusual with the success he's had, winning, I believe, 1 or 2 conference titles during his campaign here as the head coach for Funderburk at Wilkes Central. Absolutely.
You know, Starmount's happy to add him to their coaching staff. Of course, I believe his son will be on the JV team for Starmount this year, and you know, maybe he just wanted that opportunity to maybe coach his own son, and you know, that's something a proud father, you know, he wants to coach his kid. But still kind of surprised he left Wilkes Central just after one bad year. But you know, nonetheless, the Eagles are a really young football team. Their quarterback's a sophomore, and you know, a lot of weapons are just sophomores and juniors. So you know, this program would definitely be back on the rise pretty quick.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 17 officially to go for the first. Looking end zone now, Horton on the corner, and this one falls incomplete. A diving effort is made by both Ashe County defender Owen and Jordan James alike, but to no avail for either side. And that's going to be an incomplete pass, so now another 3rd and very long situation is this Wilkes Central offense facing at 3rd and 17.
They're really trying to get James involved here deep down the field. Can't really blame him. He's probably their best athlete and by far their best receiver. They'd like to get something here on the board before halftime.
3rd and 17, and Coach Ron Turner better be finding some plays to draw up for these type of situations, unfortunately for his squad, as we see them take a timeout. He's going to have to draw up something here. You know, that's not what you're used to facing as a head coach, these 3rd and very, very long situations. But he's going to try to draw up something here and put some points on the board for if you're Wilkes Central.
And, you know, something to keep an eye on there. We saw Wilkes Central walking out the field. Looks like their quarterback limping quite a bit there. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but Horton, a very obvious limp. Hopefully nothing really too bad wrong there, but he has really taken some hits tonight from that Husky defense. They've done a really good job pressuring him, and that last play or play before that when he took another big hit on the loss of yards, that might have, you know, really hurt that foot or leg or something. We see him trying to hobble back out there, but he's obviously in pain.
Yeah, you got to hope he's okay. We've already seen number 77 offensive and defensive lineman Dedrick Smith exit this ball game, and the last thing if you're Wilkes Central is you know, right now, even though you're facing 28-0, trying to get back in the ball game, you really don't want to see anybody get hurt in this type of situation either. So after the timeout, 3rd down and 17 for Coach Ron Turner's offensive unit. Horton going to stay out there despite the limp. Now rolling out to the near side. He's looking to the corner of the end zone. Hit as he throws again. This pass, however, is complete, and he hooks up with Jordan James over Jacob Blevins, and that's going to be a welcome sight for this Wilkes Central offense.
James finally got a little bit of breathing space right there, and JoJo Horton lays a beautiful pass in right in the back of the end zone for the score.
So finds him there, as you said, in the back corner of the end zone for the first points of the night for Wilkes Central. Maybe try to get some positive momentum here as we are closing out this first half. Just a few ticks of the clock remaining. And the extra point attempt is blocked. Boy, just swatted out of there. Really poor offensive line play that time. And we see number 52, Sean Baker, just rolling through and really almost caught that thing, swatting it out of the air.
With a little over 21 seconds remaining until halftime. The score, Ashe County 28,
So we'll see the drive to the end zone that time for Wilkes Central. Their first score of the night, 6 plays, 42 yards, capped off, of course, a nice 22-yard sling from Horton to, excuse me, that's actually misprint there on screen. That's actually going to be to James in the corner of the end zone. And a very nice play that time, capped off by James converting there on the 3rd and 17. So Wilkes Central able to get some points on the board, make it a 3-score ball game. Of course, the extra point attempt was blocked. But now we have maybe a bit more interesting game here, Nate. Just a 3-score ball game. Wilkes Central trying to get some momentum as we get ready to head to the half.
Absolutely. Eagles have something to build on and something positive to talk about during the halftime break. Of course, they have made a lot of mistakes, and they've turned the ball over themselves. But, that's something good. You can always go into halftime and have something at least a little bit positive to say. Hopefully the players can take some of that momentum, come out, and, keep fighting the Huskies. You never know. It's only a, 3-possession game. Come out and play hard and see what could happen.
Yeah, always hoping for the best here if you're Coach Ron Turner and Wilkes Central. Huskies still in control, though. Now 28-6. Wilkes Central finally able to get some points up on the board. And kick this one off. McNeil now on the return, trying to find some room. He's out across the 25 and the 30, still on his feet and slung down from behind, but not before he gets out to the 35-yard line for this Ashe County offense. But with the time dwindling down here, under 20 seconds to go, you got to think that may just take a knee here or run it and just head to the locker rooms knowing that you're up by 3 scores and getting the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah, I don't expect to see any long passes downfield, maybe a screen play or something like that. But Huskies have to be really happy to be up 28-6. It started off slow. They started off with some, boneheaded penalties and some turnovers. But really, to close the half, they have really played strong.
Bowers back onto the field. Huskies lining up in this 4-wide, and there is the handoff to Sullivan on the carry. Out across the 40-yard line to about the 41, but not really going to matter there how much they gained or lost. Just wanted to hang on to that ball and run that clock down. And that will do it here for the first half of play in tonight's Saturday night edition of Friday Night Football. And the Huskies will head to the locker rooms with a comfortable 28-6 lead. And we'll see them start out the second half on offense. 28-6. Ashe County in the lead over Wilkes Central. We'll be back with second half action here on the Sky Zone HD Game of the Week, brought to you by Miller Insurance in downtown West Jefferson.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And we'll come back into West Steel Stadium at Wilkes Central High School for tonight's varsity football matchup, the Saturday night edition, as we've talked about before, of Friday night football due to the rainy weather in the forecast last night and the conditions. This game chose to be played on a Saturday night, and much better weather here tonight for this one, Nate, and a great game of football being displayed so far by the Ashe County Huskies, especially there late in that first half.
Yeah, really turned it on there in the second quarter. Kind of come out a little sluggish. Well, both teams really did, but in the second quarter playing quiet a bit better, and have really extended that lead, and now we get the ball to start the second half as well.
So the Huskies will certainly be looking to add on to this nice 3-score lead, 22 points to be exact. And we are underway with second half action on the kickoff. Will be fielded there in the middle. Trying to find some room. There's Colin Ellis, and nothing doing there. He's going to be drugged down hard that time by number 21, David Corpening, leading the way. So Ellis unable to find much on that return. Gets it out to the 20-yard line, maybe just shy, and the Huskies will come back onto this field. First down and 10. Finding some success there on the end of that first half on the drive. Bowers looking to lead this offense back to the end zone once again. Shotgun snap. Easy toss across the middle. Finds Blevins in stride. Now cuts it back and gets it out there to the 35-yard line. So right out of the gates here, it's starting the third quarter. A nice 15-yard gainer for the Huskies.
Blevins makes it look so easy out there on the field. Once again, just takes a little short pass and picks up 15 yards.
And Glad to have you tuned in once again after an exciting first half that saw both teams turn it over fairly frequently. At least a pair of turnovers for each squad. Ashe County able to get the better of the Eagles later on in the first half, leading 28-6 as Ellis is drugged down. Tyler Ashe alongside Nathan Ham, Angus Lamond on the camera. Glad to have you tuned in here this evening for this exciting matchup, the second one in conference play for both of these squads, both of them coming in here despite the uneven records. Ashe County 4-0, Wilkes Central 1-4. Both of them are 1-0 in conference play. As we've talked about earlier, that's really all that matters from this point on is that conference record. As you said, Nate, state playoff brackets determined by that more than anything. As we see the swing pass here on the edge, McNeil getting some screen and finding some room, and gets it out there near midfield. And we'll keep this Husky drive alive, picks up another first down, move those chains. And tonight's game, again, brought to you by Miller Insurance, located in downtown West Jefferson. See Miller Insurance for all your insurance needs. Glad to have them back on board for another great season of Husky football. And so far it has been a great season for the undefeated Ashe County Huskies as they look to keep things rolling along here tonight in Wilkes County. And the swing pass this time to the left to McNeil. They looked like it was a bit short, but they're going to say it was a completion, although he is wrapped up immediately. He may have been better off just to let that one hit the turf.
Yeah, it might have been. It looked like a loss of about 3 yards right there. But on the previous pass, you saw McNeil really covering up the ball well there after his fumble earlier in the first half. And hopefully the turnover bug will not bite the Huskies anymore the rest of the way.
Withdrawn, however, is waived off.
So you said it there, an unusual loss on a pass play for the Huskies. That'll bring up second down and 13 after McNeil was dropped behind the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you, it was an entertaining matchup Thursday night at Ashe County High School. Huskies coming away with a big 28-21 victory. Looking to keep it going here tonight with that momentum at the varsity level. And McNeil gets another nice pass here on the near side this time, almost the same play, once again, that they picked up about 15-20 a moment ago, and that takes it across midfield and into Eagle territory, but slow to get up on the play after taking the hit is McNeil. And if you're the Huskies, well, you've got to be kind of holding your breath right here and hoping that everything's all right with one of your star receivers.
Yeah, it looks like hopefully nothing too serious, maybe just some cramps or something. I know it's not a very hot night out here, but it looks like he hops up. He's okay. But, sometimes, players just get caught up and don't drink as much as they need to, and cramps can kind of hit at any time.
As you said there, McNeil looks to be okay. Of course, Coach Hampton certainly wants to make sure. We've already seen McNeil miss one game earlier this year due to a concussion, and certainly hope that everything's all right for the junior wide receiver. While we have a minute, we talked about some of the big performers last week for the Ashe County Huskies against the Allegheny County Trojans in their big-time victory. Bowers, Ellis, Blevins all leading the way. And then on defense, of course, Sean Baker and Tristan Jones as well continues to just have a great first season of varsity football as the sophomore defensiveman. So after that gain from McNeil, that's going to be 3rd down and 5 now. And this pass is just dropped. Carter Calhoun couldn't quite find the handle. Wide open, really no pressure that time, but he can't hang on to it. That's going to be a dropped pass. And we see Coach Hampton, he's not going to leave that offense on the field, despite it being on the Eagle 45-yard line, going to try to pin him deep here.
Yeah, don't blame them the way the defense has been playing so far. No real reason to think you need to go for it here with a lead and how stout the Husky D's been. But, wouldn't have been too surprised to see them go for it the way we can move the football, but they'll settle for the punt.
Neal's legs must be feeling pretty good as he gets a nice punt off that time. That's going to take a Husky roll and will be blown dead about the 12, 13-yard line. And we'll see the Eagles take over here, 1st down and 10 in their first offensive possession in the second half after they hold the Huskies. Gave up a few big plays, but end up the Husky offensive drive stalls. So 1st down and 10 for the Golden Eagles. And still waiting on play here an equipment issue trying to get that 11th man onto the field are the Eagles. Horton in the shotgun snap. Turns and fires it out on the near side. Some open space this time, but closes quickly. And he was forced out of his shoes that time. It was number 2, Justin Parsons. Not a bad play idea, but unable to pick up a lot via the air that time. Only about a 3-yard gainer, they'll say. To bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Wilkes Central Eagles. Both teams fighting hard in this one. We've seen a fair share of penalties from both sides. Trying to get things straight now on offense. We see some miscommunication, and it's going to force Coach Turner to burn his first time out of the second half. And you know he can't be too happy with the failure to get the play call in.
Definitely not, especially when you're trying to make a comeback here. I hate to burn a timeout this early in the ball game.
So while we have a minute, we'll take a look ahead once again at what the rest of the season holds for the 4-0 Ashe County Huskies. Of course, tonight's game on a Saturday night at Wilkes Central, so it will be a short week, and they're on the road again next week at West Wilkes. And despite the struggles, you know, the Blackhawks, they have a tough team down there at Millers Creek, and never an easy place to try to go get a win on the road.
Yeah, they really see us as a rival as well. We've played each other quite a bit over the years. And I would expect, you know, that game might be a little bit closer just because West Wilkes will be really fired up to beat us. And, you know, they're trying to make a little run here in conference themselves.
This time Williams going the wrong direction. Now he's going to turn and fire it on the run, looking deep down the field. Ball is up and just cannot reel it in. That time can Jordan James. Some nice defense being applied that time, though, by Kenny Reed.
Good coverage there on the trick play. Don't really blame Wilkes Central there at all, trying to get something going. You might as well use all the tricks you've got when you're down 22, especially against a team as good as Ashe County.
Maybe he's taking a cue from the Carolina Panthers. Maybe Turner's another riverboat Ron, trying to pull something out of his hat that time and gambling a bit on the trick play.
Yeah, he might be. You're exactly right.
So after the incompletion now, another 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 to be exact. Horton rolling out on the far side, letting it fly on the run, and well over the outstretched hands of his receivers. Had a couple in the area, both James and number 2, Justin Parsons. Not sure who the intended man was, but nonetheless, that's going to fall incomplete. And Victor Williams back up again, buddy, and get ready to kick off.
He will. Got to catch some wind after being out there on all 3 of those offensive plays. Timeout will help a little bit, but see if he gets off another good punt here. He's all but one of his punts have been pretty solid and kind of back the Huskies up.
He's going to be punting back there lined up. Bad snap, though, and they just have to fall on it, so even more miscommunication. I'll tell you what, after the Huskies were able to put that second touchdown on the board, it's just really a snowball effect, and that is carried over. Of course, Wilkes Central was able to put together one nice drive there closing the first half, but boy, when it rains, it pours here for the Eagles tonight.
You're exactly right. After that first quarter, it's just really went downhill for Wilkes Central.
So the Huskies in great field position. We'll see if they can capitalize once again. From the 12-yard line of Wilkes Central, 1st down and 10 to start off this drive for Bowers. Dropping back, looking to throw all the way. Pass is intercepted. Stepping up and making a big play, cutting it back up the field across the 20, the 30, and still on his feet before he's finally brought down is number 1, Terry Calhoun. We've called his name several times on the defensive side of the ball and comes up with another big play there, making the pick.
And another one of their young playmakers that will be here at least 2 more years. He's just a sophomore and makes a big play there on the defensive side of the football.
So the Huskies give it right back to Wilkes Central after just one offensive play and the interception by Bowers, one of the few mistakes we've seen him make in the last 3 or 4 weeks here, Nate.
Yeah, you hate to see the turnover bug start to bite him as well as he's been playing lately.
Wow, open up the gates and watch him roll through. That is Victor Williams finding some open room on that far sideline, working it all the way up there, close to the midfield spot. And really, that's one of the few breakaway plays we've seen from Williams.
And just as we were starting to ride off Wilkes Central here, they're starting to put some plays together after that big turnover and move downfield a little bit.
But just like that, Andrew Bynum finding yards tough to come by. He is brought down and hit hard, but flags do fly.
On the field.
He was brought down in the backfield for a loss as Brandon Blevins in on that play. And he's a Husky defender who certainly has a nose for the ball. The senior captain leads this Husky defensive unit. That's going to be a holding call against Wilkes Central. However, with the loss of the yardage already from the play and the down, Huskies will decline. Let's call it a loss of about 3, so it'll make it 2nd down and 13 for Wilkes Central. Once again, shooting themselves in the foot. This time some miscommunication, can't quite get the handoff, and Horton is wrapped up and still trying to fight forward, however. Boy, you got to admire the heart of him, but to no avail as the Huskies just pounce on him. And right now you're thinking injury concerns, and certainly there it is too. He is having some trouble getting up after that hit.
Yeah, that might be the last hit they'll let him take this evening. Just a sophomore, young kid. He really got lit up on that hit after the botched handoff.
Official timeout on the field for an injury. The injured player is Wilkes Central's number 5.
Well, you hate to see that for Wilkes Central. As you mentioned, just a sophomore, JoJo Horton, very athletic and dual threat quarterback, leading this offensive unit for the Eagles. So we see Coach Turner going out there, and even Ashe County trainer Adam Elliott coming out maybe to help take a look at him. Hopefully this is nothing too serious. We've talked about it earlier. He's taken a lot of punishment here tonight, and boy, certainly he has fought through it, and it looks like he may not be able to take any more, though.
Yeah, it looks like something with the ankle or leg or something, really having a hard time walking off the field.
So Horton will exit this one. Be surprised if we see him here later tonight, as we mentioned, with all the hits he's taken. So after another nice defensive play from the Huskies, that will bring Horton out of the ball game, and in steps junior QB, number 18, Dalton Combs now, as he will look to lead this Wilkes Central offense. 3rd down and 15. He's firing right out of the gate, and pass is complete to Ferguson. A nice gainer. Moves it into Husky territory, but he's going to be stood up by Tristan Jones. Also in on that, Bradley Lucas, as well as number 13, Zach Ooten. All stepping up, but nice gainer, but a good job there by the Huskies preventing the 1st down.
And they throw him right into the fire, making him toss a pass on 3rd down, and not sure if they're going to go for it here, but it looks like quarterback's staying out on the field, so they may be trying to pick up this 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and about 4 yards to go. Ball on the 46-yard line of the Huskies. Combs in the gun, drops back, turns and fires immediately. Pass is caught by James, still on his feet, but will be wrestled down at the 40-yard line by Kenny Reed, but not before he picks up a big-time 1st down on 4th and short.
40 to about the 39-yard line. That's enough for a Wilkes Central 1st down.
So move those chains as the drive stays alive. Hey, Combs, he looks like he's ready to roll.
Yeah, you know, if you got a backup quarterback over there that comes out and plays like this, you know, you hate to see your starter get hurt, but helps your feelings a little bit when your backup can come in and keep the offense moving.
Now on the delayed handoff, nothing doing there, snuffed out immediately. Nice tag team action that time by Tristan Jones and also number 76, Hunter Scott, the big defensive lineman for the Ashe County Huskies. We talk about Scott, he leads the way out there size-wise for this Husky team, listed at 6'6", 298 on the program.
Yeah, you hate to have him fall on you, especially if you're a little running back.
So no gain on the play, brings up 2nd down and 10. Combs going to fire again, maybe just a tad too high out of the hands of Andrew Bynum, but really you got to be able to reel that one in if you're Andrew coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, it looked like he had his hands on that. Didn't even have to jump for it, but looked like the pass was a little bit high, but if you get your hands on it, you know, coaches really would like to see you pull that one in.
So another 3rd down and long yardage situation for this Eagles offense. Seem to have been here all night long. 3rd and 10, firing. Combs steps up, pump fakes, lets it fly deep, looking for James. Pass just in and out of his hands. Boy, and I'll tell you what, if he'd been able to haul that one in, things could have really gotten interesting with the score there, making it just a 2-score ball game.
It would have been, and that really was a perfect throw right in between double coverage, but you know, it wasn't going to be a tough catch, but James looked like he could have had that one, just did not reel it in.
So now 4th and 10 situation on your own on the Husky 40. If you're Coach Turner, do you leave this offense on the field? It looks like he's going to.
Well, you might as well. You're down 22 points. You need to keep what little momentum going you have here. See if they can pick up another 4th down.
So rolling the dice again is Riverboat Ron Turner, 4th and 10. Dalton dropping back. Combs can't get rid of it, though, and he is going to be brought down for a big-time sack, and that is number 77, Jason Baker, leading the way for that Husky defensive unit. And
Baker's really just had his way with the Wilkes Central offensive line. Really haven't had an answer for him yet this evening.
You talk about a size advantage for the Huskies in the preseason show. Ron Turner spoke about it then, despite not coaching against this team previously in his first year in the Mountain Valley Conference and at Wilkes Central. But talked immediately about the size advantage that the Huskies do possess, and that's certainly something that you can't take for granted if you're Coach Hampton.
Oh, you're exactly right. This is really something we've been blessed with this year, and so far we have been able to use our size to our advantage pretty much every game out.
And there's that offensive line doing some tough, gritty work that time and opening up some room for tailback Sky Sullivan fighting ahead, getting a nice about 8 or 9 yard pickup on 1st down, one of his longest yard runs of the game. Bring up 2nd down and short for the Ashe County offense. Moving it on to Wilkes Central, into Wilkes Central territory. Play action. Bowers firing back, looking deep. Has his man Blevins, and he is going to take it 10-5 and put up 6 more for this Ashe County offense.
Big time pass play there. Blevins makes the catch over the outstretched arms of the defender and runs the rest of the way in for the score.
So officially there they call it a 44-yard touchdown pass hauled in by Jacob Blevins. He finds pay dirt yet again. So make it 3 touchdown catches now for Blevins on the night, matching his total from last week. The extra point attempt from Richardson is up and good. And we take a look once again at the drive to the end zone. Ashe County only needs 2 plays that time to go 53 yards. And, of course, the majority of that picked up in the 44-yard toss from Bowers to Jacob Blevins, hooking up once again, as we mentioned, for the 3rd time here tonight on the 44-yard touchdown toss and catch. And mark it up again now. That is the 4th touchdown toss of the night for Connor Bowers. Have a game, why don't you?
Absolutely. Just, once again, finding his favorite target, Jacob Blevins. At least, what is that, his 2nd or 3rd score of the night?
3rd score of the night.
Score, yeah, they've really connected well, and they did last week against Allegheny too. So you got to feel pretty good. The 2 seniors really got a lot of good chemistry going and really helping out this Husky offense.
Yeah, things certainly gelling right now, to say the least, for this Ashe County offense, up 35-6. Putting up the points in bunches. And for the Ashe County offense, this is resembling the North Surrey game that we saw in that shootout where they put up 50, and they've already put up 35 here tonight, and another poor kickoff, unusual that time from Richardson. That's the 2nd time tonight we've seen him kind of maybe shank one a bit to the sideline.
A little bit. They might have been trying what worked so well for the last couple of years, trying to beat the receiving team to it. Kind of a pooch onside kick type thing, but right there the ball just kind of drifts out of bounds on him.
So the ball goes out of bounds. The penalty flag flies, and Wilkes Central can either make them re-kick or take the field position. They're going to take the good field position at the 40-yard line. Ball is spotted, so 1st down and 10 for the Wilkes Central Eagles, now finding themselves trailing 35-6. There's the handoff on the outside, trying to find some room is Victor Williams, but man, that is snuffed out immediately. Kenny Reed unloading and putting him down with authority.
Great tackle coming up from his cornerback spot right there. Read the play perfectly and made a tremendous tackle.
So no gain that time. Yards tough to come by. This rushing attack, curiously, sometimes, for Wilkes Central here tonight. Had a tough go of it. Horton actually back in the ball game. I didn't even notice that. His pass flies over here on the near side. Ferguson, he kind of looked disinterested in even trying to catch that one with 2 defenders in pursuit.
Yeah, it looked a little, I don't know, maybe he didn't expect the play to come to him or something, but really didn't put much effort into trying to catch that ball at all.
Zach Uten in on some nice coverage that time for the Husky defense. And Horton, curiously, he's back in the ball game, so he must have told Coach Turner he's good to go. We see him here on the option, tosses it out. Williams trying to find some room up the middle, and there he goes. 40, 30. Kiss him goodbye. He's going to take it in for a touchdown.
And that's the speed that we've had to face for years here in the Mountain Valley Conference. And right there just blows away the Husky defense.
Well, I tell you what, great speed being displayed. He finds open field, and you can pretty much, as I said, kiss him goodbye with his open field speed, and he makes the Huskies pay. Only the second time they found pay dirt, but well, I'll tell you what, Victor Williams showing off why he's highly regarded as a running back here in the Mountain Valley Conference.
Cole Sussey just hits the point action. The holder is Dalton Combs.
That puts 12 on the board for these Eagles offense. Extra point attempt forthcoming. We do see a flag fly, however. And that's going to go, is that going to be against Wilkes Central?
We have a penalty flag.
That's actually going to go against the Huskies. Offsides, but curiously will be declined.
Hey, you never know. The kicker might be in such a routine. He doesn't want to move any closer, maybe even just a step closer. Might knock him out of his routine.
So Cole Susie on the kick will back up. And extra point, this high snap, but it is going to be blown dead. And another flag flies on this extra point attempt, and this one is going to be against Wilkes Central. Coach Hampton probably not be as gracious and decline the penalty as we saw Ron Turner just a moment ago.
No, I was getting ready to say, I think Hampton might take those extra 5 yards.
So back him up 5 to the 8-yard line now, and now Susie will have a little bit farther to go for the extra point attempt. The senior kicker, here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. Right down Broadway. Makes it 35-13, so this Wilkes Central offense showing some signs of life once again, and didn't take them long there. 3 plays to take it 60 yards, and there we saw the breakaway ability by Victor Williams, scooting it down the field for the 60-yard TD run.
Big-time play there by the senior tailback.
So they inch ever closer to these Eagles, 35-13. Takes it down to a 3-score ball game again now, 22-point deficit they face. Ashe County still in control here, certainly. But Wilkes Central, you got to admire the effort. They're not giving up in this one.
Yeah, they've fought back the whole game and still trying to fight back, but they're really going to need some defense to step up here. They've shown that they can move the ball a little bit with some big plays against us, but you know, if the Huskies keep scoring, it's just not going to matter.
Yeah, saying goes there, it doesn't matter how much you score if you can't stop the other team from putting points on the board, as this one is kicked off, but there's a flag on the field, so they just continue to fly, and that's going to go against Wilkes Central, I do believe. And that's going to be offsides by early indications, and so that will back up Wilkes Central 5 yards, and they will be forced to re-kick. Well, you just hate to see this. Both coaches have a lot to preach about to their teams after this one regarding pre-snap penalties, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, this is the second time, one for each team, that they've lined up offsides on a kick, and that's usually one of the kind of easiest things to do, but both teams really not doing that so well.
Caught some of the game earlier. Almost reminds me of the North Carolina-Virginia Tech game with so many offensive penalties being called, false starts and other pre-snap penalties in this one as well. And this one is going to be fielded by Mason McNeil at the 20, trying to find some space out across the 30. Now cutting it to the outside. He's at the 40 and will finally be forced out of bounds just shy of the 45-yard line. Mason McNeil not showing any ill signs on that kickoff return.
Absolutely, and once again, a good job covering that football up. Made that mistake in the first quarter or first half, whenever it was, fumbling the ball. But right there, covering it up once again. Hampton probably preached down for the careless turnovers.
So mark it right at the 45-yard line. Great field position again for this Ashe County offense, as they will look to capitalize and duplicate what they did the last time they had the ball, which is punch it in for another touchdown. 4 wide set. Bowers looking to the far side. Pass is intercepted. And moving it back the other way, he's at the 35, the 30, and nobody's going to catch him. 10, 5, and touchdown, and there's the great speed by Jordan James. The Butler transfer makes the Huskies and Connor Bowers pay.
Yeah, he just read the whole play right there. Bowers just kind of stared his receiver down, and James stepped in the way, and he might have got touched a couple times, but no one really came close to bringing him down. And big play there for the Eagles.
So a pick 6, and that'll get this Wilkes Central team fired up. And look at that scoreboard. Despite the poor play so far, it's only a 2-score ball game now at 35-19.
It is, and I imagine they'll try to go for 2 here to get it down to a 14-point game. Looks like they're going to go with their backup quarterback. Horton may just be too hurt to keep playing. He thought he could, but it looks like it's going to be up to the backup quarterback to bring him back in this one.
Yeah, as you said, if they're Dalton Combs coming back on, maybe the Combs show from here on out. So they will come out for the 2-point conversion, as you mentioned. Only makes sense. Try to cut this thing down to just a 2-score, 7-point apiece ball game instead of 16 points. But a bad snap and then hit immediately, and he is not going to get away. This Husky defense just refusing to give up. Tristan Jones bringing him back with authority.
And just a tough break there for the Eagles, but still the score helps them out, gets them some momentum, and if they can keep making some defensive plays and maybe get the ball back and score some of their own, but still a long ways to go for the Eagles.
But you got to like what you're seeing out of this Wilkes Central team right now. Put up a score just a moment ago, and there with the pick 6 was Jordan James taking it back unofficially there 65 yards on that return. So not only did he make the great interception, but I'll tell you what, showing off his athleticism by being able to dodge those Husky, what turns into defenders, and taking it in for a nice touchdown. Inching ever closer are the Eagles, clawing their way back into this one. As we said there, you got to applaud the effort by Coach Ron Turner there, not letting his guys back down in the gritty, tough play, not only on offense but also there being displayed on defense by the Wilkes Central Eagles, as they have fought back now to where it's just a 2-score ball game, 35-19. About midway through this third period, a nice kickoff that time by Susie will be fielded at about the 4-yard line by Colin Ellis, trying to find some blockers up ahead of him, but he's going to have to do it by himself, and not much doing there. He's going to be gang tackled that time, and on there leading the way we see Victor Williams. He was also joined by number 20, Alec Anderson, and number 34, Andrew Foster, the junior linebacker, making a nice special teams tackle. So that'll spot at about the 23-yard line. And this Ashe County offense will come back onto the field. Connor Bowers going to have to show off his short-term memory loss after giving up the pick 6 on that previous drive.
Yeah, they always say quarterbacks have to have short memories, and, a couple picks tonight for Connor. You see why. You just got to go out there and keep running your offense like you have been, and, maybe mix in a few more runs here to try to run the clock a little bit. But for the most part, I'm sure you'll see Coach Hampton. He'll believe in his senior quarterback, and Coach Piscopo as well. They'll draw up some of the same plays they've been drawing up, and Connor will make the throws, and hopefully we'll get a win.
On first down there, 3 yards picked up by sophomore tailback Sky Sullivan. This time going through the air is Bowers, and hooking up with Mason McNeil close to first down yardage. We'll see where the officials spot the ball. And that's going to be just shy of a first down, so a manageable 3rd and short one for the Ashe County Huskies. Ball on the 32-yard line. Have to get it to the 33 for the first down and keep this drive alive, and they'll give it to the running back Sullivan. He has the first down and then some. 40, 45, still on his feet, moving it across midfield, and the big guy just refusing to go down.
Oh yeah, powerful run there by your sophomore tailback. You love to see that, especially when you're trying to run the clock down a little bit, when you've got a lead. And we may have a lot of leads over teams late in games, and we want to run that clock down. And if Sullivan can make runs like that, we'll definitely be in good shape.
So he only needed 1. He gets about 20 unofficially on that run, and that keeps this Husky drive alive, moving it into Wilkes Central territory. 1st and 10 now from the 47. Here's a screen to the outside for Worley, and tried to make the move before he secured the ball. That's the second time we've seen that from him, I believe, tonight.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for Worley tonight. I believe he also had the fumble earlier as well. Tough game for the senior, but, you know, he'll shake it off. A lot of these kids have had some tough games, but they're right back at it the next week making plays for the team.
Second down and 10.
As you said, not exactly what we're accustomed to seeing from this Ashe County offense with the turnovers, but so far battled through it, and they still hold a nice 16-point cushion in this one, 35-19 in the third period. Really controlled the tempo of this game from the opening snap, and there the handoff goes to Sullivan. Nice play being made, though, in the backfield.
By number 51,
Play made initially by number 51, Will Jarvis. He's made a couple of big plays in the backfield tonight for the Eagle defense.
Jarvis, one of the few returning players I believe Wilkes Central had from the defense from last year. He's played really well tonight, something Eagle defense and their coaches have to be proud of.
So it's going to be about third down and close to 10 yards. Another third and long situation. Bowers being flushed from the pocket. Now rolling back to the near side, switching field, still looking up to throw the ball. Now does, fires it up, and pass is caught by Jacob Blevins. However, he is well short of the first down marker. Nice stop made by Victor Williams. But how about that? The elusive Connor Bowers scrambling, and then Blevins able to make a nice adjustment, break from his route, and just cut back to the ball and give his man a target.
Yeah, outstanding job there by Connor to make something out of nothing, but it looks like we have a flag on the play here. They're going to call offensive pass interference. Don't usually see that at the high school level too often, but you know, the ref obviously thought he saw something against us, and looks like Wilkes Central will take that penalty instead of us having 4th and short. They'll back us up 15 yards.
As you said, sort of a curious play call. Jacob Blevins was looking at the official, trying to get a bit of a clarification, as is head coach Brian Hampton for the Huskies. That's going to back the Huskies way up now inside their own 40-yard line. Third down, and you heard it there from a PA man, long to say the least. What are you thinking here if you're head coach Brian Hampton? Just a screen play, or you go deep?
Screen play, draw play, something like that. Since we have a lead, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Bowers dropping back, looking to air it out once again. Flushed from the pocket. He's going to try to pick up the yardage on his own. He's across the 45, the 50, shaking defenders left and right. And, oh, man, takes some punishment there as he's brought down by about 3 Wilkes Central defenders, but he does move it back into Eagle territory, although he will be about 5-6 yards shy of the first down.
Before he's brought down by a couple of Eagles, led by Austin Roten.
Austin Roten leading the way on that defensive stop. Fourth down and a long 5, and it looks like this Husky offense is going nowhere. As they look over to the sideline, Hampton not even questioning it on the 44-yard line of the Eagles. And looks like we may get a TO called, and indeed we will. And it is Wilkes Central electing to take a timeout. Coach Ron Turner wants to make sure he has things straight on the defensive side of things for his Eagles squad. Both of these squads trying to find some momentum again on offense. Huskies trying to keep this drive alive, and if you're Wilkes Central looking to make a play and try to make this a one-score ball game, as they've put up back-to-back scores, one on offense, one on defense. They've still yet to get a lot going on the offensive side of the ball, but hey, whenever your defense can put points up on the board, you don't always have to be the best on the offensive side of things, as we saw the pick 6 just a moment ago from Jordan James, the Butler transfer, making the Huskies pay. But so far on this drive, Connor Bowers shaking off the INT, his second of the game. And looking sharp on this drive. See if the Huskies keep that offense on the field, and they do. Fourth down, and about 5-6 yards to go. And boy, that's going to help out the Huskies there. Good hard snap count that time by Connor Bowers. Draws that defense off sides. And that's going to make it a more manageable fourth down, and still going to say he's a little bit shy of the first down marker. So it will be a fourth down situation still, but now less than a yard to go for this Ashe County offense as that moves it down to about the 38-yard line.
And that really opens up the playbook wide open. You got a big, powerful running back. You got Bowers off of an option read if you want to. Really changes things up.
And the handoff does go to Sullivan, diving ahead and crossing the first down marker and gets it down there close to the 35-yard line, marking him down just shy of that. But doesn't matter. He picked up the half a yard he needed, and that's going to keep the Husky drive going. And they march on.
Of the Eagle line, led by number 70, Thomas Snyder, and number 75, Ben Elon.
First down and 10 on the Eagle 36. Huskies leading again 35-19 in this third period. Looking to keep their unblemished record intact. Low snap, but Bowers stepping up in the pocket, making a deep throw, and McNeil catches it, and he waltzes in for 6 more. Ashe County storming back ahead now, 41-19.
Beautiful deep ball there by Connor Bowers, right on the money. And that passing attack just keeps leaving its victims behind. Yet another team that's really just struggled in the secondary.
So chalk up another one for the senior QB. Bowers making another nice throw. And McNeil, a very nice catch. Richardson on to attempt the PAT, the snap, the hold, the kick is up. Splits them and tacks on one more. So 42-19. Ashe County sort of taking the momentum back with that play as they put together a nice long drive once again. The second time tonight we've seen them take it down the field in more of a methodical fashion. 9 plays going 78 yards, and of course capping it off there, a nice 36-yard TD pass from Bowers to Mason McNeil.
And good job mixing in the running game as well, both Bowers and Sullivan picking up some yardage on the ground.
So now as we see the teams huddled here, what are you saying if you're Coach Ron Turner? You just cut this thing down to a 2-score ball game, and then just like that, you give up a big play for this Husky offense once again and find yourself down by 3 scores.
Yeah, it'll be tough to keep them a little bit motivated, I'm afraid, down the stretch here. But just got to tell them, they played a hard game, and the Huskies are a good football team. And just go out there and keep playing hard, see if you can force some turnovers, maybe score some points, and try to fight back in it. But it is tough down 42-19. But, these guys, they have some pride. They don't want to, keep letting Ashe put up points on their home field.
Fresh off their touchdown drive, Richardson puts his big toe into this one. Turn is fumbled, trying to find some room, however, and not finding a lot doing there. Not a bad return all in all, though, by number 2, Justin Parsons. Another one on this squad who's just a sophomore, Nate. So, you talk about Wilkes Central, as you said earlier, maybe, this season's still not to be written off yet. Even if they do fall up short, they're still going to be 1-1 in conference and still a lot to fight for in terms of this season. But looking forward, future is bright for this Eagles squad.
Oh, absolutely. Your sophomore quarterback, he's had his moments tonight. He's had a few tough plays, and he's been hit quite a bit. The offensive line hasn't really been doing their job for the Eagles. But as you said, young team, have a whole lot to look for next year as well.
And speaking of Saturday night football, we'll have to take a break here, and that's going to do it for 3. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
And we'll come back into West Steel Stadium for the fourth and final period here tonight of the Saturday edition of Friday Night Football from Wilkes Central High School. And it's been all Ashe County here tonight, 42-19. Wilkes Central has showed some guts. They're being able to fight back and some big play capability of their own. They've made some nice big plays here in the second half, but still find themselves on the short end of this one.
They do, and, there's really no shame in that, though. Ashe has really proved to be a strong team this year. They've got a pretty good amount of depth. Wilkes Central, a young team, but, they do have a bright future.
And the ball hits the dirt on the handoff, some miscommunication. Baker's going to pick it up. 5, touchdown, Ashe County Huskies. And, boy, these guys are loving that. Number 52, Sean Baker. Man, you don't think he's fired up in that end zone.
Oh, you know, defensive players love it when they could get a scoop and score, as they call it, or a pick six. But right there, great job by Sean Baker picking that up on the run, taking it to the house for the score. That's really a backbreaker there for the Eagles.
Boy, rumbling his way on in there for 6. As you said, and not a guy who's accustomed to being in the end zone, but, boy, he didn't show it there. Scoops up that ball. He knows what to do with it, takes it in for another defensive touchdown here tonight. We've seen a couple already from Wilkes Central. Now Ashe County showing that they can do it on that side of the ball. Extra point attempt now from Richardson is up, and he is good once again. 7 for 7 here tonight for Richardson, looking very good on those PATs. And we see there the drive summary, not really an official play, just a 22-yard scoop return for a touchdown by Sean Baker, picking that ball up off the turf and making his way into pay dirt for a rare defensive touchdown by the senior defensive man. And happy birthday there to Sean Baker. He and his brother Jason have both had nice games here tonight, as they have all season long, but he's certainly happy finding some rewards there and getting 6 points on the board for his Husky team.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little bit something extra to brag about over his brother now. He's got one into the end zone this year.
That's right, and with that makes it a 49-19 ball game here on the Sky Zone HD Game of the Week. Again, tonight's game brought to you by Miller Insurance, located in downtown West Jefferson. Be sure to check out Miller Insurance for all your insurance needs. Proud sponsors of 2014 Husky football. So glad to have them back on board and bringing you another great year of Husky football. With this 30-point lead, I know it's just the start of the fourth quarter, but you got to feel pretty good that this undefeated season is going to continue for at least another week, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely, especially picking up a road win in the conference. Any conference win's big, but especially when you go on to somebody else's field and pull off a win in front of their fans, it's always big.
James had a bit of trouble handling it on the return, but is able to get out there for some nice gain of yards out to about the 25-yard line, and we'll see what Wilkes Central can do with another offensive possession, trailing now by 30 points, 49-19. Ashe County's really pulled away here with these last two scores.
They have, and I'm sure Wilkes Central will use this to get some younger guys some playing time. We were looking over their roster earlier, and they've got 9 kids that are sophomores or freshmen that are on the varsity roster, and you know, I'm sure they'll get to see some playing time here late in the game, and can only help them out down the road, and especially building for the next couple of years.
And we see now returning on offense, number 18, Dalton Combs at the QB position. And really, there, if you are Coach Ron Turner, being down by 30, really not a lot of point in trying to bring back in J.J. Horton, who's exited earlier due to injury and re-injuring himself for future games and future years. As you mentioned, just a sophomore himself.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and he did see some playing time last year as quarterback as well. So, obviously, this team's got a lot of hope for him for the future, and a lot of young kids on this team. And you know, this game's out of hand, so don't risk any injury to some key players, and also let some of your other kids get a chance to play.
First down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Corporating on the option, pitches it to Williams, trying to find some space on the outside, fighting ahead, knocks off a couple of defenders. Not a bad gainer all in all, picks up about 3 or 4 yards. Really fought hard for those yards, though. That'll make it second down and about 6 to go. All in all, not a bad pickup by the senior tailback. Certainly one worth watching is Victor Williams. Mentioned by a lot of coaches in our preseason show as a potential Player of the Year candidate. And James making Reed miss, but maybe a bit of redemption. He grabs him by the ankles and allowed Tristan Jones to wrap him up and force him down. But not before he picks up some nice yardage, and that's going to be enough to move the chains for this Eagle offense.
Nice throw there by the junior quarterback, Dalton Combs.
He's been solid in his limited snaps here tonight for the Eagles.
He has. He's come in and picked up right where Horton was leaving off, making some good throws, and you know, hopefully he can avoid the injury bug as well, not take as many big hits. Hopefully that offensive line can do a little bit better here in the second half for him.
Moves it out to about the 37-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. Here's another handoff, this time to Bynum. He hasn't had a lot of success tonight, but boy, right there, he didn't show it. Gets up there close to the first down marker.
That's real close to another Wilkes Central
And close enough to move the chains, it looks like. So a gain of around 10, and that's his biggest play of the game tonight.
It is, and one of the few times they've had success running the ball up the middle. And, of course, I'm sure Coach Hampton will get some of his younger guys some playing time as well. Some of the guys that, they put in the hard work in practice and don't get a whole lot of playing time on the field. I'm sure that they'll get some this evening.
Here's another option. Toss goes to Williams. Now he's going to try to cut it back, and, man, Brandon Blevins unloading and knocking him down hard in the backfield.
Strong hit there, and good job reading that cut back there and staying in their lanes there. Blevins makes a big hit.
We've seen so many big hits from Blevins throughout his playing career, but this year certainly stepping up on that Husky defensive line and showing it off again, trying to fill the void left by departing seniors from last year's squad, Evan Walker, and also Cullen Ashley coming off that end. So after the loss, 2nd down and 11. Handoff this time goes, I believe, to Bynum. And he's actually going to be brought down for another loss.
Loss on the play of about a yard.
Sean Baker stepping up and making a nice play off the lineman position. Loss of another yard, they'll call it, so 3rd down and 12. And really the Eagles have lived in this 3rd and long situation all night long. 3rd and 12, the snap goes to Combs, swings it out there to Bynum, fighting ahead. Gets it into Husky territory, but not much farther. And he's going to be well short of a 1st down marker. That'll bring up 4th down and 6-7 yards to go. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ron Turner just leave that offense on the field, just trying to get some practice in these situations. As you said, get these younger guys some reps on offense. 4th down and 6, they'll call it, from the Husky 47-yard line. No, Williams actually going to punt this one away. And Reed trying to make something happen, but nothing doing there that time for Reed on the return. He's going to be brought down by number 3, Madison Dunn, junior defensive back for the Eagles. So Hampton getting everybody involved in this return game, as we see Reed doesn't get a lot of reps as the punt returner. Picks up a couple there. Ashe County moving back onto the field on offense. 1st and 10, their own 25-yard line. Now we see Hunter Barnes into the ball game on offense. He was a backup last year, and quickly calling his number here was Coach Hampton. And boy, he scampers ahead, and nice gainer on 1st down. Picks up about 12 yards, picks up the 1st.
Yeah, Hunter had a pretty solid year last year backing up Jonathan Cox, but Coach Hampton and the staff have really been more impressed with what he has brought to the defensive side of the ball, and they've used quite a bit of different players as running backs, and Hunter's been a lot more valuable to the defensive guys than they haven't really needed him in the backfield.
Good to see him being rewarded with some carries. See if the Huskies choose to ride him here. And there he goes again, breaking away. 1st down yardage, and then some. Moves it all the way across the 50. He's going to pick up about 14, 15 yards on that play. So back-to-back 10-plus yard carries for Hunter Barnes out of the backfield. Alec Anderson, the man who finally brings him down for the Eagles. As we said there, 2 straight 1st down carries for Hunter Barnes. And how about again? No, this time Bowers keeps it himself, fighting forward on the option. Reads that one pretty well, picks up just a pair, though, before he is brought down by number 43 for the Eagles, Corey Burkhart, the defensive lineman. That'll make it 2nd down and 8 for the Huskies. Ball on the 46-yard line of the Eagles. Bowers in the gun, takes the snap, drops back, looking deep down the field, and nobody home there. Let him a little bit too much. He was looking in the way of Carter Calhoun.
Number 20, Alex Anderson on the coverage for the Eagles.
So that'll make it another 3rd and long situation for the Huskies. 3rd down, about 8 yards to go to pick up the 1st. Ball on the 46-yard line of the Eagles. late in this ball game now. Huskies just trying to milk this clock, leading by 49-19, 30-point spread. Here's a toss out there on the right side to Barnes. Now look at him turn it up the field inside the 30, the 25, still on his feet, and finally brought down right around the 20-yard line by number 20, Alec Anderson. So Hunter Barnes displaying his big play capability out of the backfield.
Yeah, great drive here for the senior, getting some playing time on offense. Sees quite a bit more defensive snaps, but here this drive's been all about him. He's had some great runs, and right there, well-designed pass play. He just takes it upfield and gets that first down.
First and 10 Huskies.
As I said earlier, always nice to see
20-yard line.
senior getting rewarded there. A guy who does a lot of tough, gritty work on the defensive side, being rewarded with some snaps on offense. And the handoff goes again to Barnes once again, fighting on that right side. Well, the good news there is if you're Wilkes Central, you didn't let him get a first down, but you still gave up about 5 or 6 yards on the first down carry.
Tackled on the play by number 59, Austin Roten.
He's going to be tackled on the play that time by number 59, Austin Roten.
Second down and 4.
So that will say is a gain of 6. Second down and 4 situation now for the Huskies. Needing to get down to about the 10-yard line to pick up the first. Ball on the 14. Huskies looking to add to their 30-point margin right now. Bowers in the gun, 4 wide set. Barnes in the backfield with him. He gets the carry yet again, and he will pick up another first down. I'll tell you what, he's picked up 4 first downs now on this drive just by himself. And that moves it down inside the 10, where it'll bring up a first down and goal situation for the Ashe County Huskies. Unfortunately, we do have an injured Eagle on the field.
For an injury.
Not sure who the injured player is this time.
I think it might be number 12, maybe Eric Bueno.
It's the junior linebacker, and you are correct, it is Bueno right now. For the Eagles, who is down there being helped to his sitting position. Really got to hope he's okay. We've already seen a couple of Wilkes Central players exit tonight's game. Number 77 started with him, Dedrick Smith. And then came quarterback JoJo Horton, who came back into the ball game later, but is reserved to role of cheerleader now late in this ball game, as is Dedrick Smith. You got to hope that Wilkes Central, for them, that these injuries are not severe, and that these guys can be back in action very quickly for this Eagles team. Now helped to his feet is Bueno. Looks like he's holding his wrist. And good sight to see him walking off the field under his own power.
For the Eagles, number 12, Eric Bueno.
Looks as if he's favoring that left hand. Certainly have to hope he's okay for the Eagles. So now back to the action. Ashe County Huskies putting together a very nice drive. It's been all Hunter Barnes so far on this offensive possession for the Huskies, as it will be first and goal from about the 8-yard line. And the handoff goes once again to Barnes. Going to the outside, leaps over one would-be tackler and fights his way down inside the 5, showing off his hurdling ability there.
You know, Barnes really wants a touchdown to cap off this drive and really cap off the night for the Huskies.
At about the 5-yard line by a couple of Eagles.
Finally forced out of bounds. Not before he gets down inside the 5, so second down and goal from about the 4. Got half the yardage to the goal line. Working our way late in this 4th period, all Ashe County right now, as we've been talking about, just getting some of these younger guys some reps in this situation. Bowers in the gun, joined by Barnes. Barnes takes it this time, fighting ahead up the middle, refusing to go down, and he is rewarded with a touchdown. Good to see the Huskies riding him all the way down the field and letting him cap it off with the TD.
Absolutely, just really carried the whole team on that drive. And props to that offensive line. They have really busted their tails this season. And once again, just making some good holes for our running backs and also keeping Connor Bowers upright. He hasn't faced many times getting sacked this season. Just a great all-around effort from the Huskies.
Hunter Barnes to attempt the point
And the extra point attempt forthcoming. Snap, the hold, the kick is good. Make it 8 for 8 tonight for Kendall Richardson and put 56 on the board for the Ashe County Huskies, now leading at 56-19. You talk about it, it was the Barnes show on that drive. 9 plays, 75 yards. And how about this, Nate? He accounted for all but 2 yards on that drive, either through the air or on the ground. Yeah,
definitely a great drive for him and great drive for the Huskies. This will probably close it out. They might get the ball back here later, but, great offensive output for the Huskies. They did have some turnovers, but overall just a very strong offensive game.
Yeah, and look at that score there, 56. That's a season high now, and I'm not sure exactly what the record is for points in a single game by the Huskies, but you got to think they've got to be up there in the running for that.
It's got to be getting close. I think I remember one year I want to say we dropped 70 on Allegheny one year, but can't say for sure. But, definitely 56 points, season high, and we got some teams left that we might even, eclipse that as well, unfortunately for them.
Hey, Nate, this game's not over either. Still some time left on that clock and 56 points, so you never know. But as you said there, it's a point in the game now where Ashe County's probably just going to look to mainly utilize the running plays in this one and just try to milk this clock, as that is certainly the 12th man on the field for this Ashe County team. And this ball is wisely going to be let roll out of bounds, and another one rolling out for Richardson. That's, the third one, I believe, tonight they've thrown the flag on him on the kickoff.
Richardson's kickoff rolls out of bounds. That's a illegal procedure penalty.
So illegal procedure. See if Wilkes Central chooses to take the ball at the 35, or if they'll make them re-kick. Looks like they're going to take it. Start off with some pretty good field position here, as they just look to get some practice in and try to find something positive to end this ball game on, and looking ahead into next week.
Yeah, Wilkes Central got to be planning ahead for their next game. And same for Ashe, probably resting some starters and making sure everything's going to be A-OK going to West Wilkes next week.
Combs in the gun. Going to hand this one off to Bynum, fighting forward. And, boy, he's had a tough go of it tonight, and nothing getting any easier there. Gain of just 1 before he is met by pretty much that whole Husky defensive front.
Andrew Bynum, the ball carrier, short gain on the play of about a yard.
Second down and 9 upcoming. As mentioned before, really Dalton Combs, he's looked sharp directing this offense. Backup quarterback making the most of his time and maybe trying to make a case for some more playing time for himself on that offensive side of the ball. Here's Victor Williams again. He can scoot. He's across the 50, the 40, the 30. Nobody going to catch him. 10, 5, and 6 more for Victor Williams and this Wilkes Central offense. He's flying high here tonight, Nate.
I'd like to see him and Jacob Blevins run. Just a race, 40-yard dash. Let me see it.
Both of these guys certainly know what to do with the ball in open field and displaying the great breakaway speed. I tell you what, just a quick burst of acceleration, and you look up and boom, he's gone. Just a cloud of smoke ahead of you.
Man, he hit that hole hard, and he just absolutely cut back, and he was gone to the races.
Stirring up a cloud of dust on his way into 6 more for Wilkes Central. Gives him 25 on the night. Still well short of the 56 totaled here by the Huskies. Extra point on the way now, as we'll see Susie take the field to kick this one. It's a bad snap, though, and not able to get that one off. Just poor execution yet again, and boy, Wilkes Central, they've really had some trouble on the special teams here tonight, getting off those extra point attempts.
They have. They've struggled pretty much all around with the kicking game. They've had some good punting. That's not been a problem, but, between bad snaps and just not being able to block Ashe County when they blocked the earlier extra point, something that they'll definitely need to work on.
So it takes them just 2 plays to tally 65 yards. Of course, it's a lot easier whenever you have a guy with big play capability like Victor Williams, who finds the end zone for the second time tonight. That time on a 64-yard run. I believe his other one on the night was 60 yards. So between those 2 plays, he's got 124 yards of yardage.
Absolutely. You take away those 2 runs, the Ashe run defenses have been really stout tonight, especially on Andrew Bynum and JoJo Horton. But, when Williams has gotten into open space, it's been off to the races.
As you mentioned earlier, maybe a bit of a question mark there why Wilkes Central didn't utilize the running game more and try to get Victor Williams some more open space because, you know, he's made the Huskies pay now twice here this evening.
And number 1, Thomas Ellis.
Susie on to kick this one away. A line drive kick will bounce about the 20, roll down. Ellis will take it about the 15-yard line. Getting a block from Blevins. Now fighting forward on the far sideline. Not a lot doing. Decent return there, getting out across the 25-yard line, and we'll see this Husky offense on the field for probably the last time here this evening.
I'd say so. I'd say you'll see a whole lot of running the football and giving our backup guys some chance. You see Caleb Sexton out there, Carter Calhoun as well. Yeah, it looks like Colin Ellis might be coming in to play a little quarterback.
And indeed he will. So the sophomore, he was the quarterback last year for the JV squad. Certainly has quarterback ability. Not sure what his future may hold with Bowers being a senior. But certainly know he has the ability to man the quarterback position. This time he's just going to hand it off. Fighting out across the 30-yard line as we see into the ball game now on offense for the Ashe County Huskies. That is number 21, Alex Kissinger, getting some carries. Good to see the junior getting the ball a little bit on offense here late in the ball game.
Gain of about 4 on the play, 2nd down and 6.
Not a bad gainer there. Picks up about 4 yards to make it 2nd down and 6 as we see the Huskies looking at that sideline. Going to be milking this clock for all it's worth, just trying to run this one out and secure this victory here tonight and improve to 5-0 on the campaign. Another handoff up the middle by Kissinger, the ball carrier. Picks up about 2 or 3 more.
Forward a couple yards, that's about the 28 yard
So that'll make it about 3rd down and 2.5, we'll call it.
David Corbin on that line tackle for the Eagles.
So Ashe County will try to pick up these short 3 yards just to keep that clock going and run this one out. Leading by a big-time margin. Kissinger, the ball hits the turf, rattles around. Who comes up with it? Ashe County does. But, boy, there we see it again, just a loose handle on the ball. Nathaniel Johnson finally able to just fall on it. And that's going to be a loss of about 2. So 4th down and 5, and the Huskies will not be able just to run the clock out right here. They'll have to kick this one away, it looks like.
Matthew Stillman on the tackle for the Eagles.
Mason McNeil on to punt this one away for Ashe County.
Backseat for the Eagles. Number 1, Harry Cowell.
Low snap, rolls to him. Able to get off a decent punt. Good high kick. Bounces about the 35 and takes a good Husky roll. Going to roll all the way down inside the 20-yard line. If nothing else here, Nate, get Mason McNeil some extra practice here at punting situations. He's done a great job here tonight with the exception of one.
Yeah, I don't want to risk Jacob Blevins getting hurt again. Not sure if he missed the game. Not sure if he missed it because he got hurt on a punt or if it was on a catch or kick return or whatever. But, if you got somebody else that can punt and help out, Blevins is probably our best offensive weapon right now, and you really need to keep him healthy.
So roll down to the 19-yard line, just inside the 20, and Wilkes Central will come out. Just a few ticks remaining in this ball game. It's all that's left is the clock hitting zeros for this one to be a final. 56-20, Ashe County really rolling from the second quarter on in tonight's matchup. Corpin, a nice fake there, had me fooled for a moment. Handoff gets out near the 30-yard line. That's going to be enough to move those chains.
Ball carrier number 21, David Corbin.
And David Corpin getting in on the action there. First time we've called his name tonight. Nice gainer there on the ground.
On the tackle, Brian Campbell.
As that clock just continues to run, looks like Wilkes Central's just satisfied to let this clock tick away as well. Combs in the gun. Here's the option. Now pitches it. Trying to find some room. No, a nice tackle made on Corpening. Getting to him there quickly, we see for the Huskies. Number 19, Dalton Weinbarger.
On backfield for a loss. Dawson Weinbarger on the tackle.
So Weinbarger stepping up and making a nice play for this Husky defense and his limited time on the field. Loss of 1, so 2nd down and 11 for the Eagles. Time just ticking away here. Closing seconds of this one. There we see an option again, and he chooses to hand it off, does Combs. Fighting around here on this near side, we see Bynum again on the carry. He's still out there. He's going to pick up about 6 yards out to the 35, and that may be one of his biggest gains here tonight, Nate.
Yeah, unfortunately, when 6 yards is his biggest play, he's definitely been shut down, and great effort by the Husky defense to do so.
Yeah, things aren't going to bode well when one of your top running backs, the biggest plays he makes is 6 yards, and just in really what you classify as more or less garbage time at the end here with this one already sealed. And there's the pitch again to the far side. Bynum making guys miss, though, and still on his feet out past the 1st down marker. So back-to-back solid runs by Bynum, but unfortunately for he and this Eagles squad, going to be too little too late for the junior tailback. Time continues to tick down. And the referee winds the clock there. And the time will tick down, and they will not have to get off another snap as the clock hits 0. We are officially done with this one here tonight. Ashe County in impressive fashion. Not the best of starts, but all in all, not a bad effort from these Huskies. Taking this one 56-25 over the Wilkes Central Eagles.
Yeah, strong offensive output once again. As you said, most points we've had all season. After that rough first quarter, we got things going, and even the defense got in on the scoring there with that fumble recovery by Sean Baker. Just another big win, second conference win, and see if we can keep them rolling here during the Mountain Valley season.
Yeah, that's right. 5 opponents down so far for the Huskies, 5 to go. Now, as we look ahead to the upcoming schedule, of course, we can go ahead and put a W next to this one in the first half of the season. Wilkes Central falling here tonight, 56-25 to the Ashe County Huskies. Hit the road again. Next week, we'll stay in Wilkes County in Millers Creek, and then, of course, we'll wrap it up with 2 more Wilkes schools, East and North, and then really the 2 games that'll really be a test for Ashe County on the road against probably 2 of the better teams in the conference right now, Starmount and Elkin. Yeah,
absolutely. It doesn't get any easier as you leave here. West Wilkes, they'll definitely be trying to bring everything they can to beat us. Millers Creek's not a far trip for either school to make, for them to come up here or us to go down there. But either way, they'll be bringing it. And, of course, East Wilkes, North Wilkes, they'll give us their best shot as well.
So things looking good here for the Huskies, as now you can put a 5-0 and 2-0 next to their name as they just continue to roll along. 56-25 again, our final here tonight, and some big-time games being put up by Connor Bowers, throwing, Nate, 5 touchdown passes in this one.
5 touchdown passes. Yeah, I believe you're exactly right, and Jacob Levins catching 3 of those.
3 of those, and Colin Ellis also getting into the end zone, as did Hunter Barnes and Sky Sullivan, so plenty of offensive action to go around. And then, of course, on defense, both of the Baker boys making their presence known, especially number 52, Sean Baker. He wound up with a defensive score for this Ashe County squad.
He did, and that's something defensive guys, they love to be able to contribute to that point total. And, great job by him and great job by the defense overall.
So that'll do it for us here tonight. Once again, our final score. Ashe County takes this one in convincing fashion, 56-25. Over the Wilkes Central Eagles. And now you can go ahead and put a 5-0 with Ashe County and 1-5 to Wilkes Central as they drop to an even 1-1 in conference play. Of course, they're still going to be fighting hard, just at 500 in the conference. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of by them. And Coach Turner's group, you can expect them to regroup and come at it next week.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they have Starmount coming up. And, over the last few years, that's always just been a battle, just an absolute war, because most of the time that's been for the conference title.
So as they prepare for their next contest, the Huskies will as well, and we look forward to joining you on next week's broadcast against West Wilkes from Millers Creek. And until then, we thank you again for watching. For Nathan Ham, Angus Lamond, Corbin Richardson, and for everyone at Sky Zone Sports, we thank you for watching here tonight.